Welcome to the Risen Esports Champions League Winter 2021 tournament. Teams will play here to earn qualification points into the Tier 1 tournaments, which then lead directly into the LCS Proving Grounds. This is a 32-team Swiss tournament, where the teams will play in 5 rounds of Swiss to qualify for playoffs, and a 6th if you do not qualify for said playoffs. The Swiss format has teams playing against other teams that have the same record as them. After the first games, the 1-0 teams will play other 1-0 teams, and the 0-1 teams will play other 0-1 teams. The 2 teams with a 4-0 record receive a bye and a spot in the semifinals. The 4 teams with a 4-1 record will make it into the quarterfinals, and the remaining 28 teams will play in a round 6 of Swiss to determine how many points they receive. Now, the 6 teams which do make it into the playoffs will play in a single elimination best of 5 bracket. The 2 teams receiving byes will sit in the semifinals as the other 4 teams play it out in the quarterfinals, awaiting their opponents. Now, we did mention before, teams will be receiving qualification points towards the Tier 1 tournaments, and they will be distributed depending on their placement in the Swiss format. The winning team gets 100 points. Second place gets 80 points, going down the line all the way to the 32nd team. Now make sure you tune in for all the games over on the Risen Esports channels, going live at 7:30 p.m. EST. 2021 is upon us. Let's see what NA's got.
Back to the Risen Champions League Proving Grounds Tier 2 tournament. I'm your host, Sam Smacks Hayden. With me again tonight, I've got Dimitri Alk-Battery Toledo and Jack Goferino Capone. Gentlemen, we're back for Tuesday because it's today and it's the second day of Risen. Dimitri, I see you're cringing at my joke. How are you feeling?
We got
today?
one cringe. We got one cringe.
Oh, Jesus. I didn't think we were starting that early with that one, but I'm excited. Yesterday we got some pretty good content games, and hopefully with this one we get something a little bit more akin to that.
Yeah. How are you feeling about the matchups today and yesterday here, Jack?
Yesterday, well, we said it pretty well ourselves. We got the result we thought we'd get. We just took a little bit of a detour, had to go down that country highway, single lane, 40 miles per hour. There's a pickup truck in front of you going 35 miles per hour, and you're just kind of mad at them. Today, though, we definitely think it's going to be a little less one-sided. However, though, we do all feel that a certain team is going to be taking home the victory royale.
One team does have to win, Jack.
We're going to find out what team that is. Just before we do that, I want to take a look at the matchup results of yesterday. I believe we have a graphic for that one. We got to see 16 matchups happen. Not a lot of upsets as a whole, if I am being completely honest here, guys. Just the one Cloud9 Amateur getting a little dunked on. So that was a bit rough. But, oh, and yes, here we go. So lots of 2-0s, huh, Jack?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of expected from the Swiss format. We're expecting a lot of these teams just kind of smash in their first game. So, hey, here we are. But that one upset, that is a hell of an upset. If I don't say so myself.
That one hurts. That one hurts to look at. It's just like, you see the Cloud9 logo, you're like, oh, it's so good. And then see that 2-0. It wasn't even particularly close after watching some of those VODs. It was really messy.
All I can say is, as a long-time CLG fan, first time.
Yeah, all right. Well, shout out to our boys over on the Risen 2 broadcast for streaming that one for us. It was a delight to listen to those guys cast. And shout out to everyone else who made some community broadcasts of their own. I believe we had a total of 9 Risen games going on of the 16. So I'm sure there are going to be just as many tonight if you want to go check those out. I'm sure those are on Twitter or something of that nature. But for some more on last night and how that all went, we've got our favorite weatherman friend, Ravishing Ravish, and Alk Battery has another theme song to take us into his bit.
All right, Ravish, she's picking up and putting down players. We need someone funny to help this bit land. That's it.
Hey,
Oh,
all right.
You got some bars.
Bring him in. Bring him in.
Have you tried?
We are ready for Ravishing Ravish. Welcome.
I respect it. All right, Dimitri. I didn't know that a man of your caliber could go ahead and spit some bars like that. But hey, man, shout out to you, bro. Color me impressed immediately. But you know what? Want to go ahead and start it off hot here on a high note because it only goes downhill from here, gentlemen. Want to go ahead and wish my man Surdy a happy birthday. Firstly, can we get a happy birthday in chat for the boy Surdy, bro? Yeah, look at him, bro. I know that top laners want to be him and women want to be with him. I get it.
Oh God.
Okay. You gotta get Camille.
Shout out to that dude, right? But yeah, like I said though, like you are mentioning as well, there weren't many upsets across the board, right? Mm-hmm. If you're all looking at it, like of course, exactly what I predicted happened, exactly how I predicted would happen, right? I'm an infallible weatherman because looking at the storm that we thought about yesterday, boy, did it come, and it came absolutely massively to every single open qualifier team. My God, it's this. I do feel for y'all. Like I genuinely do. It's because Barrage are not academy team, man. It's like they absolutely smash, especially not academy team. Like these guys 2-0'd in a fashion I have not seen before. You thought the other 2-0s are bad? Watch this game. I swear to God, I sat down to get a snack and I came back. The game was done. I blinked. It was over. Oh my God. Gentlemen, did you happen to catch the game?
No, I mean, I think we blinked a few times last night, so we missed it here too.
I honestly, I'm still like starstruck that people like the Sunshine Fruit Basket Warriors still have a better logo than these guys. So
I mean, how can you beat
every
that
time
logo?
I look
Let's
at
be
this logo,
honest here, fellas.
That's true. I see this logo and I'm just like, there's nothing that can quite draw me in.
Yeah,
This
well,
looks
you know
like
what,
the frame
Ravish?
that you get at Walgreens for free. You know, the one with like, with just like, with just an old dude in the picture. Like he's just chilling, smiling, like.
Well, you know what, Ravish? They should hire you at weather.com because your forecast was completely spot on.
I couldn't agree more. CNN hit me up. Yo,
oh my God.
Like, I'm ready to get on. Like CVS, whatever weather you got going on, let me be there for you all when you're there at 2 a.m. at night. You know, buying beef jerky. You can go ahead and hear me in the air at your local CVS. But
oh my God.
You know what though, guys? It's like although some things I got right, other things that they go overall get wrong. I talked about yesterday about how your tier list should have been a little bit better. And C9, I was like, you know what? These guys are good. But C9 AM, like you all mentioned before, did unfortunately have a disappointing result, as you're going to see here. It's they lost to Glacial Esports in fantastic fashion, I might add. 2-0 across the board. And like, good job. It was tough. It was almost like they had to play literally Balloon's tower defense, right? But the monkeys weren't necessarily even snipers. They were the Olaf, Syndra, and Camille that could not get through, and they stopped them in all of their tracks.
Can I get a vouch on this, Smax? You are the big Balloons player here. I need an expert's opinion.
Yeah, as Dimitri and I are Bloons co-op partners, Glacial Esports were definitely super monkeys in this match. It was not very close.
It was not even fair, and I'll take a look at this. All I'm going to say is that pre-show prediction I had that C9 was going to get rocked is coming on through. The 100% prediction rate is staying alive.
Well, Broken Clock is right twice a day, Elk, so.
Oh, all right. Okay.
So sound that out there.
It's
brought to you by
as of course our starter producer yet again here, man, because you can see the segment is brought to you by Balloons. It was $1 and now it's not anymore. So if you didn't buy it, sucks to suck, really. Great game, by the way, here, guys. But going back to the tier list that you all made, right? It's like I think where it stands, where all the ratings were, are completely accurate too, because we did go ahead and rate C9 AM as I believe it was a B tier team. But there's one more team at the side, which you can see also fills up that logo, right? This Blue Phoenix right over here, called the New Rising. Now we saw that game yesterday on the main stream, And it's, I don't know about you all, bro. It's like, bro, a new rising, more like a new fall asleep, because I'm
True.
now because this is where you all like slightly clap and boo and walk away.
Ah, yes. An excellent joke. We all clapped the same
Excellent.
angle. Nice.
Thank you. Yeah. This was man, like I went ahead to sit down. I swear to God, I was trying to make the game through faster. I felt like I was Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar with it, bro. Just like trying to poke at the lines, like, please, objectives, macro, do something, please.
This is like the meme where he's like poking something. He's like, "Hey, do something, please."
Literally,
do something.
Like, come on, take towers.
They got there in the end, okay? They may have taken a nice nap in the middle, but you know.
And they got hit with the Lily Ultimate. The 5-man Lily Ultimate hit the Anoop roster pretty hard.
Sam, I sat down a spry young man and I woke up with back pain and with a hankering to play golf. So
Maybe you could collab with one of our casters today.
I think I
going on
could.
later.
Exactly. I believe one of our casters actually plays a fantastic round of golf too. Shout out to Mr. Samuelson, who will be casting across the board today. But one thing that we can see from all of these teams is they picked that big fat man in the top lane. Right? And that being the one and only Gragas, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this beautiful macho man. Look, bro, I'm just saying,
like Buddha?
Now that Gragas is back in it, forget your sets. Abs not needed. Ladies, go hug a big boy, because you know if they carry you, win lane, win game. And this man will win you lane and game.
Okay, but
look at this.
Ravish, I gotta call you out here because it definitely is big boy season. Get yourself a thick boy, but he's wearing the wrong boots. I don't see no lucidity boots on that Gragas. I need haste.
We should slap some 900 boots on there. Oh God.
It's I mean, you're 1,000%, bro. Y'all making a fantastic point, but look at how good they go with this outfit, bro. This man is stylish. Because I know he got that on lock.
So I keep seeing. So obviously we're seeing like Night Harvester. We're seeing Cosmic Drive. I wonder is it like when you get Zonia's? Is it like Buddha? So he like freezes. He's golden. He's the big dude. You like rub the belly and you get Elo. Do you get Elo for rubbing the belly?
Okay, Mark. Like, yes.
Do you get Elo for rubbing the belly? Is that a thing?
Exactly, bro. See, but that's not the only changes I do want to bring up today. Sam, I do have some bad news for you.
Oh, no.
Really?
We at Risen Proving Grounds here in the Champs League are looking for a new host, and I believe there's only one person available on the market. Frost Kern is actually available here, Sam. As you can see within her tweet, is because she decided to resign with the LEC. She wants to go on to newer and better challenges and move forward. Sam, we already have one pink-haired beauty already, and I'm sure Jack can change.
Oh, for sure.
I'm sorry.
For sure. Let me just get a Sharpie from downstairs and color my hair real quick.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll get it by next game.
Yeah, sorry, Sam. We can only have one of those people on at a time, and I'm too talented, so we have to get rid of you.
Okay. Well, you know, I don't know what to say. Congratulations, Frost Current. You guys better make a good Brady Bunch video with her too, okay?
I mean,
thought
I'm
my
sure
video
we
was
will,
pretty
bro.
good.
Let's go
sure
ahead and
will.
give a big shout out to Frost Kern and Chad, bro. Can I get some claps and some Pepe Jams in class already? Because you know we're gonna have some fantastic hosting going. I'm sorry, Sam. You were a handsome white-haired curly boy, but now I want another.
Oh God.
Now, with that all being said, though, gentlemen, I think that's gonna take it here for me for today's weather update. Things are looking cloudy. Things are a bit stormy across the board, though. But I'll go ahead and toss it back to y'all.
There you go.
Like
Third time's like a charm.
frisbee.
It's okay. We're hyped too, Ravish.
Exactly, because you know what we got coming up? Some more bonus, fantastic hot dog content.
Oh, boy.
Yes. This is very true. This is one thing that Frost Current does not have over me, because
She does not.
I know how to wrangle the hot dogs. And so for this next bit, we've got back with us today the Rando Joe copyright safe hot dog, or the Snapchat hot dog. I actually think Snapchat's in the name, but that's okay. We also have Brad. So I'm gonna remove my other analysts here because they want to overthrow me. No mutinies allowed here. I'm gonna bring back my sausage friends. So guys, are you here? Are you with us here on Risen Tuesday? Oh, there they are.
Whoa.
Pleasure to be back.
Welcome. Okay, so you guys, you were here at the beginning of last broadcast yesterday. We got to see a new Rising take the win, which I believe neither of you predicted, but Brad, your prediction was the most wrong. Tell us a little bit more about today's matchup. We got Barrage and we got Supernova.
Yeah, well, Barrage, this team is so washed. I can't believe it, man. This is a super ego team. You take a look at their staff. You've got Returned, you've got Coco, you've got XT. XT's probably like the most humble guy, but take a look at that Returned guy. Ego is humongous. It's huge. And honestly, the only good thing about that team is their social media still being helmed by Returned, having to do both jobs. It's honestly just feels like a lot of inefficiency over there.
Well, the only washed thing here is you on this desk, and I wish people at anime conventions were half as washed as you, Brad, because boy, oh boy, you've got a Pacific
sweaty
Ocean's worth
nerds.
of wash on you, because Barrage, banger team, top 3. They're part of the big NATO coming through to storm the Risen.
You're saying top 3, but I take a look back in Scouting Grounds last split, and they finished 4th so hard they had to jump ship back to EU. Let's just let's be honest, okay? So I don't want to hear any good things about this Barrage team. I honestly don't even know why we have them over even close to S tier.
I mean, look at all these historic players they have on there. So many familiar faces. They have always played ahead. A 5-star GBA prospect. How do you beat that? There's no 6-star. There's no 5.5-star. You're either 5-star or just a low rando.
Why is the Aurelia player a whole analyst over on that Supernova? Let's just ignore the fact that he had to do a whole grinding season about getting Mastery 7 on every champion. Thrilling content. But to kind of round out this Barrage team, the name is awful. Who puts a whole battleship as their logo? It makes no sense. Who does that? I mean, we've got other teams with some pretty suspect logos, no drip involved. But a ship, really?
Okay, Brad, I think you're going a little bit too far. We don't want to roast the graphics people for Barrage, okay? We don't want to go that
Only the
far.
social media people. My bad.
Yeah. Their other social media is completely flawless, with all the rats and Beyblades and all that stuff. Brad, we've heard your take on Barrage. What do you think about Supernova? And what about those guys on the other side?
If you thought Barrage was washed, Supernova. This is Strompeth's 4th time. He's making the full worldwide tour of Supernova. He's come around 4th time. He said, "Hey guys, you guys want to hit 8th place again? Sure thing. Let's do it right now. Come on down."
I mean, veteran. He's got a proven track record. It's honestly a surprise the team hasn't picked him up. All these control mages. He's about to be controlling this game here, Brad. He's about to be controlling your mouth, hopefully next time we show up here on this desk, because I don't like the trash that's coming out of it.
All right, probably gonna... I think he's actually trying to match his favorite champion, Rise, for reworks, so we'll see what happens with that. But we come here, they had to literally re-sign older players, so I'm sure they already had their DMs open, and they're like, "Hey, Cavell, you want to come back? Matty Moo, come on, brother. You want to come back onto the team?" It's just, I don't think that this roster is going to do anything. This Barrage team should just be able to take this. It's so painful on this one.
Maybe it's painful. If you have an opinion as trash as yours, I will not be taking anime recommendations from you anytime soon here, because SN, the S stands for S tier. Proven tracker, they got a history. All right? They got a history here in amateur, and you are disrespecting
SN stands
that.
for so much nothing. There's nothing here.
Okay. Wait, so you threw something in there, Rando Joe Hot Dog, that I need to address here.
Yes.
Are you a fan of anime as a hot dog?
Yes. I'm the hot dog Hokage.
Okay, I don't really want to hear that again. All right, moving past that entirely.
Can I bully him, please?
Yeah, Brad, I'm with you on that one. That one was a little... Oh, God. Okay, now it's on my screen.
Oh,
all right,
no.
I don't know what you've just
Wow.
done,
Okay.
Rando Joe Hot Dog. I don't think this is acceptable.
Alrighty.
We need to move past this. Rando Joe Hot Dog, what is your prediction for the series today?
Sunshine, flowers, and a great series. Everybody will be a winner, because when you tune into Risen Champs, we're all winners. But I think Barrage is probably going to win the series. Let's be honest.
Okay, all right, very honest. All right, Brad, what do you think?
I think this is going to be a 3-0 Smack Side.
3? It's a best of 3.
I know.
Okay. You know what? I won't ask any further questions. Thank you, Rando Joe Hot Dog and Brad, for making a second appearance on this broadcast. It's a pleasure as always.
Pleasure,
Your
Colin.
buns are looking extra nice today. I'm liking that. But I do need my regular analysts back. Can we get Gopherino and Alc Battery back to the stream? We got to continue this before I keep talking about buns and Hokages. There they are.
I'm back
All
from
right.
the Shadow Realm.
Jesus.
Okay. All right. I don't know entirely what that was. I think these guys they either need a raise or they need to be fired on the spot.
I'm okay with the firing part, please.
I mean, yeah, you got to cook up hot dogs. Like, who just eats a
Oh,
cold
boy.
hot dog?
Oh yeah, we'll toss them on the grill. I guess that's one way to do it. That's a good idea. All right. Well, moving past that, we got to get back over to who we're going to queue up in duo queue with, right? We've got a few options today. We've got Supernova, we've got Barrage. You guys already, well, not you guys, the sausages already told us how much tenure a lot of these players have, lots of experience under their belt. Gopherino, I want to hear from you. Who is your duo partner going to be on the day?
Well, APA, always plan ahead. A-tier guy, has an insane champ pool due to he's got the Acel, he's got the Talia. We're gonna see those banned against him all the time. You know what happens when you ban away those but he can still play other champions? You're just giving the enemy team a bunch of free picks here that might not slip through otherwise. He's got a proven track record. I believe the copyright friendly hot dog even mentioned that he's a 5-star G-Bay prospect. Like, how do you beat that? You do not beat the G-Bay star metric.
That makes a lot of sense. Oh, also, on this graphic, for those of you listening at home, we do have the stats hexagon that you can see here with a bunch of other stats there. You can go to our website and see a more detailed version of these stats as well.
RisenEsports.com.
RisenEsports.com. Go check it out so you can see some more stats for our glorious Duo Q partners today. Speaking of, Alc Battery, who is your Duo Q partner?
Yeah, I had to full-on Silas ultimate this guy away from you. Gotta get my boy Winter. He's the only other support. I know I said yesterday that I would only duo with you on support, but this is the only other guy I think could possibly take that spot away from you. This guy is absolutely nuts. You take a look at his stats. He might not be leading the DPM. He got to play Leona and Galio yesterday, but he is top of the line when it comes to supports in Risen. You take a look at that. That is average. That purple part is just him absolutely smurfing. He's almost the entire hexagon when it comes to stats. Not only that, but, you know, he's also only played with incredibly great AD carries. I'm going to add my name to that list soon enough. Shoryu, Jurassic, Andy Bendy. You know, Andy Bender is going to be the guy to watch. But I really want Winter again. And just for the little Braum part, he's so good at Braum, and he's still less washed than our boy Cubby on the broadcast. So I need my man in that support role.
Speaking of top-of-the-line supports, it looks like he's actually queuing for top lane.
Okay, look, that's why there's the fill at the bottom. The fill is there
Uh-huh.
too. It'll trick them. Yeah.
You might wanna talk to him a little bit about that. I think he's a support player, and I would know because you've stolen him from me.
Mhm.
Winter's my good buddy, and you've stolen him. And now I can't duo with him, so I'm gonna have to find someone else.
Aw.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Fnatic. Now this is a guy who is another one of the supportive members of Barrage, so you know I've still got that going for me. If I can't have Winter 1, I guess I'll take Winter 2. And Fnatic is definitely really supportive on this team. We saw him play all of last year on FlyQuest Academy, and while they didn't get the top of the line results, he was still a top of the line player, outperforming most every single jungler that he played up against. His early games were phenomenal. Shout out to majoring in the minors for Prussian, where he has an
Great
entire
show.
segment on Fnatic right there. Yes, absolutely great show. Big vouch for Prussian. And I can't have it. I don't have enough good things to say about Fnatic here today, gentlemen. I am very excited to see him play. What's
so
up?
same thing you said about me. Fnatic looked like he was plat on that. You might want to get that fixed.
It's preseason.
That doesn't sound too
It's fine.
good. Oh, it's preseason. Okay, preseason.
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah.
alright,
It's
I see.
totally okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that I'm gonna be able to climb to the top of the ladder. Although I think there's one guy that we definitely missed out on, and that's Maddie. But unfortunately, he's already ranked 3, so we can't do it with him. So
Yeah.
sorry, Maddie, you are way too high helo for us. We just suck. So
Just raise your elo. Just win, lol. Come on, dude.
yeah,
Just
true.
win.
I'm planning on winning. I got Fnatic as my jungler. Okay, we're gonna just run the map.
Yeah.
Okay? So you
Mhm.
better watch out. Do not queue up at the same time as us. Definitely not. But all right, gentlemen, we've seen some hot dogs, we've seen some bratwurst, we've seen some duo queue. I want to see some more stuff about this matchup in specific. I'm going to start with you, Go Farino. Tell me a little bit about how this matchup is going to go, and specifically for Barrages, they are the higher seeded team. Tell me a little bit about how they are going to play today's matchup.
Honestly, Barrage, they might just be working for, we are the better players than you, and we will outplay you. Of course, we have looked at these players, and we were talking about Fnatic, specifically you. Sorry, Smax. I'm mixing up my cohort. I'm sorry. I have trouble remembering.
Not as good
nobody's
looking,
names.
and I'm not married, so it's fine.
Oh, really? I thought you were engaged. Okay.
Anyway.
Anyway, but yeah, look towards especially their jungler, Fnatic. I am sure you guys would love to talk more about him since he was your duo partner there, Smax, and always plan ahead. I have talked about him a lot. He was my duo queue partner for a reason, and I'm going to be looking towards him because he does have like those very interesting picks, and he is still able to play very well off of them. He can roam around, help out his team, and even with all that, he is still a very powerful laner. And I expect him to show up today.
All right. I think it's a fine expectation. APA, previous Scouting Grounds player as well, played in that Honda event just a few months ago. Dimitri, take me through what it's going to take for Supernova to get this upset.
All right, like you said, it is for everybody expecting at home. It is going to be this upset that I think a lot of people are expecting. If it's going to be, when I look at these rosters, I look at Cavell and I look at Maddie as being some of the closest in terms of being able to match Barrage. I think maybe Maddie versus Fnatic is a lot less closer, but I want to see how Supernova are going to be able to prioritize their top laner, because Cavell versus PCL, they're going to be trading a lot. I think once we see the draft, we'll see a lot of where their priority for Supernova is, because they've put him on things like the Renekton. It didn't go as well. We keep seeing Gragas time and time again. I wonder what they're going to do to try to kind of set him up, because I think if that's going to be the case, then we can start to then roam it down, start to get APA in a really uncomfortable position, and suddenly Supernova then can kind of take themselves a victory. Not only that, but Strompes has been a veteran. We talked about it. He is really great on these control mages, and if he's able to then kind of rein Ian in, who is very much known for his roaming, then I think there's a very dangerous recipe for Supernova to bring it out.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being the case. Of course, if you can stop those roams, then APA might not have as many plans ahead as he might think. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing if Strompes can actually pull them off. Of course, we did get to see Supernova and Barrage play on their respective team streams just last night. So we got to see their matchups against their opponents that led to them going 2-0. Jack, tell me a little bit about how these teams played on the off streams and what we're kind of expecting from those 2-0s coming in on the day.
Well, Supernova, they probably had one of the harder fought 2-0s, because their first match, they actually had to make the comeback in that one. They won the game with a goal deficit, but it does speak to their strong mentality. In game 2, they were able to have a strong showing. Barrage, on the other hand, they showed in both games very solid play. Game number 1, absolute blowout. Like, you blink, it's over, to put in the words of our beloved Ravish here. And game number 2, they knew how to play to their win cons. They knew they would outscale. They did outdraft, and they just looked to take control. Once that 23-minute mark hit, they're just able to completely take control of that game.
That game 2 was a whole fiesta. I have to agree with the social media team. That game 2 is not the cleanest game. So if there's anything that I expect from this Barrage roster, is they're ready to get down and dirty.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen APA and PCL play on the same team on Supernova, as you alluded to before, Dimitri. Just last year, they placed top 4 in the entire summer event, and they definitely have some performances where you're like, okay, you're really just trying to ego out right now. You're really just trying to go for these 1v1s and play with style, which is really fun to watch. So I'm very excited to see some of that. But this is definitely one of those matchups where we can start to see some upsets. We can start to see some maybe 2-1 score lines or something along those lines, guys. If things do start to use the phrase, start to coin flip in the other direction over to Supernova. I want to get to your specific predictions, gentlemen. I'm going to start with you, Jack. What is your prediction on the series? Do we get those coin flip moments, or is it going to be just a 2-0?
There will always be some coin flip moments. It's just a matter of who is going to be the one flipping the coin, who's going to be the one, getting the bad end of that coin. I do believe that there is a strong chance that we will see the 2-1. I do believe that Barrage is going to win. However, though, I don't think SN is going to go down without a fight here, lads, because they have proven some merit, and it's definitely going to be a closer match than a lot of the other ones we saw yesterday.
All right, Dimitri. So, wait, actually, hold on. Go Farina. Are you locking in that 2-1? Is that what you're going with?
I feel like you are making me say this for a court statement on a later date, so I'll be calling my lawyer. But yes, I will lock that in because this is Champ Select, and I don't want that timer to run out.
All right, excellent. Oh, look at that. We get all of our predictions right down there. Sweet. All right, so I don't even have to ask you, Dimitri. I can just talk about my prediction. I'm just kidding. Tell me about your prediction as well, Dimitri.
Yeah, I think it's a 2-1 Barrage. As much of a Barrage hater as I might be, I'm going to just put them at 2-1 because I think, Supernova will probably take a game, but the down to clown attitude and the me fight gene is going to be way too strong in some of the players for the Barrage squad. I think the Supernova are going to get run over once they get their first win.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm just aligned with my boy Cubby on the cast right there. We're talking about,
of course, I wonder why
and stuff. I'm going for the 2-0. I've got a lot of faith in my boy Winter and the entire squad for Barrage. But guys, everyone listening at home will have to find out what that's going to be like. We are about to send it over to the casters so they can break down a bit more of this matchup between Barrage and Supernova. Take it away, guys.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our Week 1, Day 2 of Risen Champions here on twitch.tv/Risen Esports. My name is Mark Rafa Alexander Arambide, and joining me for the cast today and for the rest of the season is going to be my boy Matthew Cubby Samuelson. Now, maybe wondering what's the attire? Well, I've accepted the boomer status here with Cubby. I mean,
Sweater Vest Gang.
Yeah, Sweater Vest Gang
Let's
is
go.
going to be the way for pretty much the rest of the season for us here. He has introduced too many golf memes, too many bear memes, and he's gotten a little too many wine classes in my knowledge now. So, but it's going to be story time for us throughout the season here, Cubby. And tonight's tale between Supernova and Barrage has a lot more story, as Smacks and the rest of the desk has already pointed out. This is pretty much a new Supernova roster with, an old favorite in Strumpus coming back, as they pointed out, the fourth time, but also Barrage, that combo of Pie Cake Lord and APA coming back from Supernova's roster in the 2020 SGC summer season here, Cubby.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a rematch here. Or not a rematch, but old Supernova versus new Supernova, right? Not only was APA and PCL part of the last iteration of Supernova, which took top 4, by the way, in SGC. Pretty damn good finish, if I do say so myself. But also Coach Lucian and returned, moving from Supernova to Barrage as well. So taking some of the staff. Fnatic also made an appearance on Supernova at one point, as many seasoned amateur players have. Supernova has this reputation for really cultivating talent in NA. And I must say, this season, I feel like with Proving Grounds, some bigger orgs coming on in, and just the roster that they still have a chance to do so, but they find themselves not a perennial contender at the start of the season, and instead are looking to play the upset card that they're trying to play here, going up against Barrage.
Yeah, it's definitely not like the seasons of old where Supernova used to always be on top, along with the likes of Maryville University, who is not participating in this tournament of the first one of the Proving Ground season, but also the likes of, if you remember back in the day, Polar Ace Esports, which then that famous roster involving the likes of Odd Orange and Cat Evolved, being able to rebrand to Buff Katarina, and then over to Radiance. Radiance is also a team that is not participating in this season. So when we look at the old guard of amateur, Supernova is still looking to stand the tests of time here. And they're working with a roster once again that is a mix of old and new. As we already pointed out, Strumpus being the veteran who brings a little bit of experience from FlyQuest Academy, but he's also looking to prove himself a lot as that split over in FlyQuest Academy was not the most inspiring compared to the other mids in that split.
Yeah, not only was that split not the most inspiring, but also his stint on Team Fish Taco was not inspiring either. As
Man.
that team, there is a lot said about that team. They did not perform well in Scouting Grounds last year, and I think Strumpus has a chance to. I mean, he finds himself on the Supernova roster for the 4th time now, and has the chance to kind of prove himself and rebrand himself. I was actually catching up with Maddie before these games to see how he felt coming on in. He spoke so highly of Strumpus, calling him the veteran shot caller. So he is the one calling the shots, and said that he's learned so much already from playing under Strumpus, who is already bringing out those mages that we know and love from him, and even picking up some new ones he played yesterday in game 1. We're going to have to see if he keeps on pulling out new picks, because that has been a criticism of his in the past, the fact that he's very good on these machine gun mages like Cassiopeia, like Rise, but doesn't have the wide champion pool that was needed for him to play at that level above. But hey, with this season and the competition that has increased down in Proving Grounds, if he's able to prove himself against a better stock of mid laners, that would be a good start. And he's got a nice challenge for himself with the ex-Supernova mid laner facing him on the other side, always point ahead, who already tweeted out, watch us come watch us clap Supernova. So I think he wants a little bit of revenge from his old team.
I mean, I always love a good smack talk from Mr. Ian. The kid's got nice hands in terms of playing champions, mechanics. But when it comes to playing the sideways in the mid game, gotta keep a better monitor of where the rest of the team is. Now, when we start shifting our attention over to Barrage Esports, Cubby, you said this very bluntly before we got onto the cast. Barrage is not even looking at this game as a threat. They're just saying, you know what, this is another day in the books. Our eyes are on the Academy teams later at the end when they go supposedly start competing in the Proving Grounds tournament later.
Barrage is looking to prove Academy teams' management's wrong, as a lot of these players find themselves in Proving Grounds. Notably for me, Fnatic. I had this guy as a top 3 jungler in Academy, quite frankly, last split. I think the only jungler that's going to top him in Proving Grounds is Onda, and he's one of the only junglers in Proving Grounds that can hold a candle to Onda as well. He actually finds himself in a matchup that's pretty interesting, I think, against Maddie Boo, who is very high on the ladder in this early season. I believe he peaked at rank. Yeah, he's currently rank 3. He already peaked at rank 1 briefly, as that ladder is changing at all times. But Maddie's been a player that has slowly impressed us and has been on rosters that have played Dark Horse before. Speaking of Dark Allegiance, a team that actually made it through the Cup qualifiers in the same group as Maryville, what we deemed to be a significantly harder group. They were able to prove themselves. And, catching up with Maddie as well, he said that this is, like, no offense to the Dark Allegiance guys, he had a blast playing with them. This is the best roster that he has around him, and it's his chance to prove himself. And for me, I think that says a lot about Maddie as a player. I love the fact he's stepping up in early season solo queue. I think that matters quite a bit, as much as we'd like to meme about the NA servers, and has a really good test in front of him tonight if he's looking to prove himself, because if he can take down Fnatic, he is one of the best junglers that we have in Proving Grounds this split, and it's going to be quite the challenge and the test for not only him to take down, but also the rest of Supernova.
Yeah, I mean, if you go all the way back to 2018, maybe 2017 for Maddie Moo, for those that recognize that name, if you recognize Fruition Esports, Team Front, those two teams, unfortunately are no longer with us and are actively participating, but Maddie Moo was a mainstay on both of those rosters, along with a few other names like Jayton and Disconnector. And then he even role swapped to AD carry for a brief stint when EXU, who is now on Cloud9 Amateur this year, came in to be that starting jungler. So Maddie Moo has been around the block for quite some time, but this is finally, as he's explained to you, the best roster that he has been on. And, for someone like him who has never had that shot in being contention with the rest of the jungler talent that we have here, when you've got the likes of Fnatic and Onda and Winston in this tournament, this is the year where maybe Maddie Moo doesn't break into that rank, but this is where he makes a name for himself and where other teams have to start looking at him throughout the rest of the year.
He's got a shot tonight, that's for sure, because as we mentioned, Barrage doesn't even have Supernova on their radar anymore. They're looking to compete with the Academy teams in Proving Grounds. They do have to get there first, but for Supernova, I mean, this would be a statement series from them if they're able to, take a game, maybe take the series potentially in Risen. It is early in the season, so I expect this roster to still have a lot of time to try and develop, as some of the players are a little bit younger. I think one of the more interesting things is G Bunny, the support for Supernova,
Yeah.
was actually a professional tank player in Paladins, a completely different game. Played for Splice and the Pittsburgh Knights, now finds himself playing League, and already on a pretty, I'd say, perennial amateur roster, because Rafa, you were talking about some of the history, some of the players that have come through Supernova, and they've branded. I mean, I think Tactical is a name that we all recognize in the LCS.
Yep.
He started off on Supernova. So these guys do have a reputation for really developing talent, and I think they're quite a bit to they have a lot to work with, or a lot to improve on this season.
Right.
They have their work cut out for them, I must say. But we're gonna have to see if they do it once again.
Yeah, but we got to now shift the focus back over to Barrage. You know, we've given Supernova their credit. Yes, they are a team that are very good at being able to find diamonds in the rough. But, you know, the thing with Supernova, talent doesn't stay for long on that. Once it's good enough, it moves on to other better teams. And that's kind of the bane of Supernova Esports, as now the rest of other teams coming into this Proving Ground season starting to outgrow them. And, you know, if Supernova can find some success here, that will definitely be a boost to that overall brand and name, and maybe for other players that are looking for continuing on this roster. But, you know, for Barrage, I want to dive more into why Fnatic is so good, because, you know, apart from Onda, Cubby, I recall you saying that Fnatic is probably the jungler to take everything this entire season.
I would have argued potentially that Honori was also better than Fnatic, but I also would say that Honori had better pieces around him, being on C9 in the last split. I thought Fnatic was really impressive on a team that wasn't so hot, especially earlier in the season for FlyQuest. He was making early game plays. He had a really high first blood percentage. This guy gets active on the map early, and there's been rumors flying around that he's just absolutely stomping scrims against some of these amateur junglers. And I want to see if those come true on broadcast, because early game junglers like Olaf, very meta right now, like Pantheon, you can destroy early games. You get off to a quick start. And I want to see what Fnatic brings to the table, as he is looking to challenge these amateur junglers and prove academy teams that they should have been picking him up instead of him ending up on Barrage, much like the rest of this roster, who all I believe were eyeing academies find themselves here. I think that they have a little bit of personal vendetta with the people higher up, as quite a few of the teams do that we have in Proving Grounds that have some players that may have seen academy time before.
Yeah, it's time for this Barrage roster to put their money where their mouth is, right? And they need to be able to walk the talk that they, you know, as we've already seen on Twitter, as they're ready to lay the smackdown here on Supernova. But for Barrage, that, not to say that this team doesn't have its flaws, right? You know, and we talked a little bit about that mid game, where if they're opting for 1-3-1 or 1-4-1 compositions, there's a reason that why Fnatic was brought onto this roster. It needs to be that vocal presence to be able to guide the team and direct them where to go. Whereas, you know, this core of APA and Pie Lord on the old Supernova roster, it didn't seem that Odd Orange was able to fit the pieces for them. Not to take anything away from Odd Orange. He's a great player in his own right, and he's already had the accolades to show why he's a great player in, you know, this overall ecosystem, being able to play for Team Liquid Academy last year. But, you know, this time, especially talking with the staff, Fnatic seems like almost good as the puzzle piece you're going to get with this entire roster for Barrage Esports.
I mean, if he can get those solo lanes ahead early, PCL is someone who is an incredibly aggressive top laner. Yeah. There's the joke that Pi can lane and Pi can't lane, because he only plays up in his lane, and it's feast or famine up there. So if Fnatic can help him get going, because when it is feast, it's beautiful to watch him just dominate lanes, playing his Camille, playing his Wukong that he's really known for. I think that if Fnatic can get that early game rolling, could be something. The weakness that PCL and APA have is more so in the mid game. They still tend to get caught out in solo lanes, make some bad mistakes in terms of losing where everyone else in the enemy team is on the map, and I'm looking for them to clean that up as well. But hey, one of the reasons that they're prospects that we've seen do well in amateur and find themselves on Barrage is because they are very talented solo laners. And so I think Fnatic enabling them is very scary. And Rafa, we haven't even talked about this bot lane. Gorka also played the split in Academy on Golden Guardians. I think that Gorka has a lot of game in Winter. I think finds himself in a very similar spot to Strumpus, except Winter's actually won stuff in amateur. His stock is... Yeah, his stock's a little bit lower for some reason, but if Winter can perform against a support pool, I always joke that the support pool is bad. But you have supports like Zazel and Big walking in now that have proven themselves on the stage. If Winter can prove himself this split too, I think that stock could rise and once again be a support that we're looking to move up to Academy as well.
Yeah, I mean, Winter has won the past 2 seasons of
Yeah.
Scouting Grounds with Anu, and now he's on Barrage. So already the management for Barrage are doing one thing right better than most of the other teams, bringing in winning players, right? So this already
Usually
goes
a good call.
Yeah, imagine, right? You bring players that have won stuff in the past, and it's going to work out in the end. But to add more on Gorka and Winter, I mean, Gorka is a versatile player in his own right, as we've seen during his stint overplaying at Western University. He was a top laner. Even though coming from originally a marksman position, he's able to show and flex his abilities to play a variety of roles and being able to fit whatever the team needs at the time. And then that's where you got to see fantastic games where he pulled out Vayne top. Now, I don't think we're ever going to see a situation where Gorka lane swaps with Pike.
Maybe Bot Kled. Bot Kled could be an option. You never know.
You know,
a little Saskia special coming on through.
Yeah, we could bring back bot lane bruisers, back from season 9. I think it was pre-season 9 or pre-season 10.
Just about they had all the bruisers. It was like spring season 9 or like early summer season 9. It was rough.
All right.
Quite the meta.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do think we do have the draft phase.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, baby. Now the moment has finally arrived. And let's get into the nitty-gritty here, Cubby. So when it comes to champion picks, there's a lot of spiciness coming across the board, mainly looking at APA. Now, they're already taking away the Orianna. It's not to say that he doesn't have a versatile champion pool, but his champion pool, it's big. It's different, let's say.
It's very mage-centric. But APA also plays some crazy picks. I've been hearing a couple of them up his sleeve. I'm curious to see if any of them pull on through. If so, we'll talk more about it. One that he was known for, that Aurelion Soul, doesn't find himself meta, but his second one trick was Talia, which finds herself very meta, can be paired up with Pantheon. And I'm curious to see if Barrage ends up setting that up. I think important thing to note as well, both top laners, we haven't talked too much about Cavell, but is a Camille one-trick. PCL was known for his Camille back when he had his stint on TSM Academy as well. So I'm curious to see what happens with that pick and how it gets paired up. As bans flying on through, Samira, I still think it's a trap pick, but Barrage has been winning games on it with Gorka, so that's going to be taken off the table. And I expect to see Pantheon appear somewhere pretty soon here on this ban list for Red Side.
The real question is, too, is we've already highlighted the Olaf and the Kame play coming out from Manimu, but Lilia being taken off the board. I mean, if you check Maddie's solo queue record, it's his highest win rate. So there's already a reason why that is being so respected here from Barrage Esports. But Leona's going to be the other ban of choice, taking that away from the bottom lane here from G Bunny. Wants to be able to excel in his tank play, both from his time in Paladins and now here in League of Legends. We got one more ban coming in from Supernova. Could target potentially any top lane counter picks that they don't want to deal with in the first rotation if they're going to save a counter pick for APA on Barrage. But it's going to be another support pick.
There's a lot of strong picks up so far, Rafa. We still have a Kali on the table, Pantheon. I think Red Side Gragas is terrifying if you're a team like Supernova. I think that's going to be picked up R1, R2 instantly from Barrage. They can just flex that for the rest of the draft. And I would be interested to see if they set that up here. It means that they can let Pantheon through if they do so choose, and they are going to do that. So probably going to have MF Jin flying on in, or if they want to get Jungle Prio, pick up a Graves. A Kali's also up. That could be an option as well.
Yeah, Olaf still on the table here, but I don't know how you feel about it. Gore Drinker, yes, is a disgusting item. Olaf with that item is disgusting, but you have picks like the Graves. And when we talk about, again, Manimu's time both as a jungler and as an AD carry, he's got the marksman mechanics and he's got the abilities to run those games down in his favor. And Gale Force still not nerfed yet, so I mean this champion's pretty nuts. But we're gonna have to see now how Barrage answer. I'm personally feeling the Gragas in this first rotation here, Cubby.
Yeah, I think they can just Gragas and hold that flex for the rest of the draft coming on through. We've already seen PCL play it, and we've already seen Winter play it. And so I think it's definitely something that could be an option. That said, Fnatic on Olaf, we talked about this guy impacting the map early. What better champion to do so with than the Olaf, where you can get that tempo, push that early game power as well, and also sets up for some really interesting level ones. So Barrage could do something with that as well.
The only thing with this picking this type of composition, you know, you got to make sure that the onus is on you to really steamroll this game, because this Graves, once you get past that 25-minute mark, you will outscale. You know
Ooh.
what? I'm going to take that back a little bit, because now you have the power of a pop star in
Okay.
your hands. Seraphine coming in the board. Now, we're assuming this is going to be for APA in the mid lane, but I don't know if you've spoken to Winter about, has he put in some time on the Seraphine support here?
He plays it. He plays it. Seraphine's definitely a flex.
baby.
This is an interesting flex. So, Strumpus played this yesterday. Did he play it well? Not so much. He got cut out quite a bit, but
Unlucky.
This is a really strong mid-jungle duo if they do so choose to pair it up. As the response, it seems like Barrage or Supernova really thinks this is going mid, because that's going to be the instant rise coming on through for Strumpus. This is his specialty, signature champion. Going to get his hands on that one early.
Supernova. Hey, you called out the misfortune pick. Could be the hover here for Supernova. It would leave Jin as the other staple, strong marksman to work with. And I'm already thinking Deadly Flourish into Seraphine's entire kit. That just sounds absolutely disgusting if Gorka wants to pick it up for himself here. But I want to start thinking about now with bot lane, jungle, and potentially mid lane here picked up for both teams. We're looking at top lane here. We're looking at potential bans that are come out of the way between Supernova and Barrage. And, you know, most likely they're going to give that counter pick over to Piecake Lord.
That's what we expect from Barrage coming on through. He is a big carry, and APA is definitely happy to blind pick a mage, as we may have potentially seen here. That said, Jin is going to be the trade. It's been interesting to see the teams, like, if they prioritize Jin or MF higher. It seems like we're seeing quite a bit of this handshake. MF definitely brings a lot more early power with that early laning. If you do opt for the tier Comet build, that E-spam is so frustrating to face in lane. And I really want to see if that is the build they end up going for. That said, Jin does have a lot more range later and can help set up some more plays coming on through.
Well, Wukong, we already highlighted it before. No Monkey Man for Piecake Lord in the top lane, no Bonk Stick, and it's not going to be the Camille either. So now I'm curious what Cavell is thinking of, but with this Karma, now we see that, I mean, this Seraphine and Karma can go either way. APA has been able to show that he can play both pretty to an extensive level. Galio support looking to be the option and answer to Barrage Esports' bot lane, and now we got Cavell. You know, we said that he's a Camille one trick. What else does he have in his back pocket?
We're gonna have to see. That comp, I would love for something else to follow up on an engage or create some power for the Galio coming on through. That said, they have to still keep things a little bit on the safer side, because Karma is something that can be flexed in all three lanes still. So Barrage still holding their cards close to the chest. Gonna have to see how they round things out. They are very low damage right now. And I think that Supernova sees that, just gonna safely pick a Malphite in the top lane. Tells me that Karma, if she goes top, it's a really low damage team, so it's really going to be on Olaf, but this does set up for a potential Aatrox coming out from PCL. He's a champion that he would be able to get buffed up in the game, something that PCL is very comfortable and good with.
10 seconds on the clock here. Barrage, what are you thinking? What is cooking up in that mad mind? You know, it's not Aatrox, but Silas, it makes sense. Now you have an unstoppable force on a more potentially dangerous AP bruiser in your hands, and Piecake Lord definitely loves to have that aggressive agency available for him. And now, when we're looking at both of these compositions here, Cubby, I mean, Supernova have a clear cut and dry button to say, we're going in. You got Malphite. Mid-game, R, ultimate, knock-up, into another knock-up into Hero's Entrance. You got a bounce house in the wings, and then Rise and this Graves being able to follow up with that misfortune. It's a wombo combo, right? And if we're going to quote our friend Joshi, it's going to be a question of, can they figure out how to play the composition right in time? Because we've been seeing a lot of teams pull out similar wombo combo compositions, but they never seem to be able to group correctly and position themselves in the river around the neutral objectives in the right spots and the right time to make those compositions work. And sometimes that's why better teams, in this case Barrage Esports, are able to exploit that and use it to their advantage, and they might just look to push and pull them throughout the map as the game goes on.
We're going to have to see. We actually have a rule on the team that I coach that you cannot pick Malphite unless Silas is banned. So I want to see if PCL takes advantage of that one, because it is a brutal counter matchup for the Malphite.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the game has begun between Supernova and Barrage Esports. We got Barrage looking to just take this down, easy peasy, but Supernova are looking for the first upset of the season, and maybe more as the games play out. Now, Cubby, let's just admire the rift here. What a beautiful cinematic we got here.
Look at these T-Tours we're getting.
Yeah, T-Tours here. I mean, shout-outs to the Hawaiian production squad coming in. Man, they are putting in tons of work, and they have gone through a lot of revamps over this New Year holiday. And, oh my gosh, thank you for the zoom in. Winter showing off how he is an amazing pop star. And by the way, did you know this, Cubby? Winter actually... he plays music. He does some music stuff, some music production.
Oh, I did not know this.
This Seraphine champion feels oddly at home for him. So I wonder if he's going to be able to make the bass drop at the crucial times throughout the game.
Good for Winter. We're going to have to see if they can utilize that range to at least offset some of the power that MF does bring to that early lane. And I'm really curious. Array didn't go for the early poke build with MF that we've been seeing with the Tira and the Comet, instead going for PTA and a longsword start. My focus, though, Rafa, we talked a lot in this early game talking about the 2v2 duo that we have with Maddie and Strumpus going up against Fnatic and APA. If Supernova wants to win, we said it was going to have to be through Maddie and Strumpus, but going up against Olaf and Karma, this is a patented duo that APA was running with Auto Orange throughout Supernova. And this is something that APA, not a lot of people are playing Karma mid. He plays this pick very, very well, and I want to see if he's able to neutralize this Rise and really empower this Olaf to get work done in the early game.
And don't be fooled if you thinking at home, oh man, Karma, all right, support mid, not going to do any damage. No, we've seen APA not only play this Karma mid, he's played the Lulu mid. He makes it look like a damn assassin or a burst mage. I mean, the amount of damage that you can actually bolster on this champion, thanks to builds like Imperial Mandate, and the fact that he's able to bolster up the other secondary carries or the primary carries of his team in mainly Fnatic on this Olaf. He's going to be running in, he's going to be slinging down axes. So now it's up to APA to make sure that he's just controlling his lane, and then he gives priority for Fnatic to be able to control the game. But when we're looking on the side of Supernova here, now Maddie, this is the man that is going to be the primary carry for this squad, and Supernova coming in at rank 3 on that solo queue ladder. He's really relying on Strumpus, and you've already talked with him, as we alluded to before, Cubby, that, I mean, he has a lot of trust in Strumpus. We got to see if it plays out here in this game 1.
Both junglers going for their blue buffs to start on out. Should be early handshakes for the Crab. I must say, the fact that Olaf is going to have a little bit more difficult time finding the Graves early, it does benefit the side of Supernova, because if Olaf gets up in the face of Graves, can be a way they push a lot of early power. That said, this gives PCL quite a bit of power in the top lane. The fact that he's going to have his jungler in his back pocket, and that's the Crab they're going to end up taking. So gives Silas a little bit more room to breathe in those early levels, but once you hit 6 on Silas, that's where the kill threat really comes in for this Malphite. It is a difficult matchup for him. Silas has constant kill pressure. Once that level 6 is dinged, he can steal that ultimate.
Well, Maddie, already aware of where the Olaf is going to look for something onto Winter. Burns the flash and the heal, as well as the exhaust. There's a lot of summoner spells, but Array's taking a lot of damage on the back end of it. So Barrage, they lose summoner spells, but they maintain that health lead. That could be advantageous for them once Fnatic makes a swing.
That play from Maddie shows a lot of, I want to say, rawness in the jungle, because he goes for that gank, doesn't go for that Crab. Look what ends up happening. Fnatic takes the Crab. He's going to rotate, take Raptors. He's going to take that top Crab as well. This means that Olaf has complete early game dominance in this jungle and is off to a roaring start already.
Now for Barrage Esports, it's another walk in the park so far. They are able to dissuade and diffuse any early game attempts, any early game cheeses that Supernova were looking forward. Because if we're going to be honest here, Cubby, when we look at this entire roster as... he's fine. Okay.
He's going to heal, man. He's got that W. It's easy. Oh,
yeah,
APA may not be fine, though.
Yeah, Maddie is going to make a visit to the mid lane, got the Ignite burning down, and AP has got nowhere to run. It is off to the races here for Supernova. They make the right moves, and first blood goes to Strumpus.
That's one of those errors that we talked about with APA. We talked about it more in the side lane. The fact that he can get caught out. Hugging the wrong side of the lane there, though, is going to cost him his life as Malphite. Can he get out? Oh, he's going to survive that. Going to survive that undertow. That's really important, the fact that that kill doesn't go over to the Olaf.
And the action doesn't stop here, as it looks like Winter is taking an Ignite to the face. Going to be chunked down to about 100 HP. We'll have to look for a recall here, as now Gorica is going to have to figure out a way to fend for himself, as Maddie is able to defend and secure some of the the early clears that Fnatic was going for and stealing that Gromp away. Because they've spent so much tools onto Cavell into the top side, Maddie is waiting here. I don't know if Pie Lord is ready, but then again, we got Fnatic here for the 2v2, and APA is here as well for the 3v2. First damage is coming out, but Fnatic and Pie Lord can't really pursue the charge down into Cavell, but this is important here, Cubby, because the wave is frozen near the turret, and Cavell just used teleport.
That wave being frozen, Malphite does have to reset. It's going to be tricky. I'm being told, though, we have a replay of the first blood coming on in as we have to look through this. APA, he's hugging the wrong side of the lane. He has his jungler on the top side. He knows it. He has that crab being scared right now. If he's on the other side of the lane, that play never happened. So APA mispositioning on the Karma. Not a great start for him, but going to have to see if he can bring it on back. As I must say, Supernova, they have survived a few of the early lane plays. The Olaf is already very far ahead in the jungle. Getting that Raptors camp with increased XP on the second spawn would be very nice for him. Still has his entirety of the bot's jungle to clear as well. He's going to reset and do that when he gets back onto the map. Fnatic is off to a good start, but needs to start finding ways to put these leads into the lane just besides top, as Cavell, he's really reaching for CS here.
He's just looking for scraps at this point. With
Level
the wave
5,
state
baby.
currently on the top side of the map, it is pretty tragic for him. There's no way that he can really reset, and Pie Lord is just doing his diligence of denying any precious amount of XP and gold that Cavell could look for on that side of the map. This dragon has been up for quite some time, and Fnatic is more than capable of being able to solo it, thanks to the fact that he is Olaf. But in the bot lane has been receiving a lot of blows. They've been doing a great job of diffusing it, but now maybe this is where we see Fnatic start to pivot a lot of his strength towards that bottom side of the map.
We're gonna have to see. They're trying to go for an invade or a potential dive here. If Fnatic is able to spot this one out, that could help. Not sure exactly if Maddie is shown there. Doesn't have level 6 yet to get beat unstoppable, but I don't think they have the early power to go for this play.
Winter throwing out the just trying to look for a root and a potential pick, but looks like Fnatic is not gonna suffer the loss of losing his camps. We'll be able to pass over that blue buff over to APA, and so far Dragon Control still is this constant tug of war. And one of the things that we know Olaf for is just being able to secure that solo dragon, but because of all the plays on the bottom side of the map, it's been a little difficult for him. But now we're getting closer to that 10-minute mark, which is where first item completions will start coming in. Some aggression coming out from G-Bunny. That's a lot of damage coming out thanks to the bullet time. But G-Bunny gonna have to flash out as Gorka is now looking for the turn. The exhaust comes out as well. And once again, Cubby, Barrage Esports, just every time that they face a play from Array and G-Bunny, they're like, nah, thanks.
Gonna sneak right on out of there, given the range of the Seraphine. Also, Winter, he did burn exhaust there, and Gorka did burn heal, but overall, they feel okay about the fact they survived. I must say, though, Malphite was able to pick up that wave thanks to the positioning from Maddie, who also picked up that camp. So Malphite was a real threat to get dove on the other side of the map. That's why you saw the bot lane go aggressive. They guessed the fact that Fnatic was going to be up there. And the fact that Malphite is able to pick up that wave is huge. That was a triple wave, and I really thought the Barrage was going for the dive that would have put Malphite straight up out of the game if they were able to go through with that play.
Yeah, can we talk about the fact that poor Cavell is forced to rush in Executioners as a Malphite? No armor, no magic resist to be able to deal with Pie Lord, and wow, you know, I thought we were about to see a death on screen.
Where's the ult?
Lord. Yeah,
Steal
he
the
had
ult,
the
man.
hijack. I suspect that potentially he didn't feel confident in having enough mana to be able to go for a second burst charge, but
No, he had enough.
Oh well, then you can talk to Pie Lord after the game.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know why he didn't go for that one. I think that he thought Malphite may have been baiting him in, maybe working on those solo deaths, trying to lessen those. That's we are gonna have the trade of the Dragon for the Rift Herald. So I like this trade for the side of Barrage. More gold into the Silas, definitely gonna be good for them. That's where I expect that Rift to be dropped.
We're already seeing how much of the focus coming out from this Barrage Esports lineup. We alluded to the fact that Pie Lord is someone that can be enabled and is a terrifying force to be reckoned with, but he needs the support and he needs the guidance from the rest of his team, and Fnatic is being that support structure, right? He is ensuring that Cavell doesn't get to essentially play the game. He's giving him the dire stream, and now Cavell being down almost 30 CS at the start of the first 10 minutes of the game, it forces Supernova's hand to try and force plays down towards the bot side. Every time they've tried, though, it has not ended in success.
haven't been able to take down this squishy Seraphine, and once she gets access to 6, that does become a lot more threatening. The ultimate, the charm, could be so deadly to try and turn back one of those potential tower dives. Is PCL going to continue to trade? He's got no problem trading this lane. He is just fine healing right back on up.
Get some turret plates down, it seems like, for Supernova, but they're going to have to back off, and there's no more Dragon for next couple minutes, as we've already seen them play around. But Strompa is potentially looking for a dive, but Cavell is already sub 200 HP, but he oh my god! Pie Cake Lord, you sexy beast, bro. Being able to flash that unstoppable force, god damn.
I was about to say, if anyone caught the Cup pre-show tournament, getting a couple flashbacks here from the Silas versus Mel fight, that flash on the ultimate pretty clean coming out from PCL. If anyone caught the play that Tuesday had during that tournament, that was disgusting as well. Fortunately, not Academy team. They aren't making an appearance on either stream today, but it's a team that we expect to see quite a bit of moving forward.
And that tool being used from Cavell with his teleport coming up means that there's no threat for a unstoppable force play for the next minute or so. Which means that Gorka and Winter are able to play up more forward in this lane, continue scaling on up, as the next Dragon's still not up for a couple minutes, but we're already seeing Fnatic being more confident, but just to speak about that confidence, it's a little too confident here. G-Bunny coming in with Hero's Entrance does force flashes out of both Always Plan Ahead and Fnatic, and you know, some of this over-aggression from Barrage Esports does bring up some question marks here, Cubby.
I'm not exactly sure what ended up happening there with Fnatic. The bot lane was missing, he had no right to go for that play, pretty much, is what ended up happening. He gets punished for it properly, as PCL finally going to use that hijack to no avail, as this wave is once again pushing out on the Mel fight, as Cavell continues to struggle to be able to play this game, which I must say, Fnatic is partly responsible for this, but PCL's done a very good job managing that wave state, making it very difficult for him to farm past that early start as well.
You know, Cubby, given the amount... Oh, actually, Winter? A lot. Well, we're burning a lot of buttons here onto Array. We got the flash out.
It's worth.
Yeah, it's definitely worth. Especially once the Misfortune looks to bullet time, it's going to be a sitting duck, and Fnatic is already here. Has Rift Herald as well. Do they go for the player? They're just going to get some turret plates down for Gorka here in the bottom lane. Get some gold back into this Jhin. And now, Array and G-Bunny have to play with caution. But they're going to go forward a bit. Do they have the teleport from Cavell? Yes, they do. So if they're waiting for a play, I'm waiting for it to happen. But Fnatic says it's go time, baby. Curtain call comes out. Fnatic gets the swing down. Cavell finally makes the teleport in, but Fnatic still has Ragnarok available. So if the knockup comes in, it's not going to be all for naught. But Fnatic diving a little too far deep for this Array. I know that Misfortune looked juicy, but was it worth your life, my friend? The Strumpus comes in, picks up the pieces.
All right, it's been 0 days since Caster Curse. That's all I'm saying, Rafa, as Fnatic. MF's got some extra movement speed, man. You're going for the undertows. She's able to just dodge out on those easily. He gets taken down for no reason. Trading back, that should have been a positive play for Barrage, but a little bit of an overextension once again. Seems like they're potentially getting a little bit ahead of themselves, as this team that we expected for them to stomp pretty quickly, they're hanging in there. Supernova's doing an okay job.
Yeah, let's take another look back at that bot lane dive here, Cubby, as... Oh, give us the cinematic reel here.
Well, you see, this is like a shooting range, and Gorka is just kind of taking him out at this point. And then we get Fnatic. He's going to get a little bit adventurous and whiff some axes. I'd make a joke if it was like Broloff about, like, you know, having maybe a sip too many, but unfortunately he didn't pick skin for that one.
Well, he definitely saw red in his eyes, and he's rocking that, I believe it's the SKT skin here. That'd be it. Shout outs to Blink. Or actually, no, this is Banky.
Yeah, it's Blank had Zach.
That's right.
Yeah. I want to see some more Zach play, man. Where are the slingshots coming in?
Do you really want to see Zach play? I mean, slingshots are cool, but I feel like Zach would get destroyed right now.
No. He definitely would. That's why I want to see him, you know? Just, we're going for the aggro picks.
You know, I respect it. Hashtag more flubber picks, you know? But this second Dragon coming out for Barrage Esports, being able to successfully push back the bottom and mid lane respectively, awards them. This Cloud Dragon's going to give them a little bit extra CDR on their ultimates, which for someone like Winter and Fnatic is definitely terrifying, as well as Hijack for Pycake to be able to grab a lot of powerful ultimates this game, and mainly that unstoppable force. But still, Hero's entrance being able to join in addition to having that bot lane fight, and Array's dead. All right, so Fnatic heard you, Cubby, and said, hey, I messed up once, let's do it again.
Well, you see, he got those kills with the point-and-click axe, so I still want to see some Undertows land. But we'll take the true damage of the kills. Nice play coming in from Fnatic as he takes the revisit down into the bot lane and potentially looking for more. Matt's got to be a little bit careful. He's pushing pretty hard here.
Exhaust comes out for Winter, but he's still going to die thanks to that Ignite. Now Fnatic is going to test his luck over on the Manny, but he's got a Gale Force, so I don't really know if you want to test your limits against a Shotgun Man that has a lot of, movement speed that you wouldn't suspect otherwise.
And I will say, Rafa, all this focus on the bot lane where it seems like Barrage is getting ahead, I do like the fact that Fnatic is putting some extra time and love here, because if you look at that top lane, PCL, given that early lead, has been doing it himself now. He's now up almost 60 CS, has that the Andres finished on up. And this matchup is not going any better for Cavell anytime soon.
And Gorica, unfortunately, won't get to go back home quite yet. Manimu is still pushing ahead, but let's take a look at what happened in this bot lane.
Ooh, I like that Gale Force coming in from Gorica. He does have to burn double sums, though. Didn't save it to dodge out on that taunt. That said, now it's just shooting gallery for him once again. So Ray goes down. Fnatic. Oh, we have more plays. Galio ult.
Fnatic is going to go down, though, and it's a shutdown for Manimu. Wow. Pycake Lord is actually able to trade one back, but he gives his life up for it in the end, and now the rest of Supernova are leading the charge, and Strumpus has been quietly picking up kills throughout the course of the first 16 minutes of the game here, Cubby. And Barrage Esports, we have been heralding them as this team to take on Academy teams, but right now in this opening game, they're starting to struggle against Supernova.
I don't know exactly how that one started off. We're going to try and get a second look coming in, but PCL coming on through, he didn't have a Malphite ult. He stole Galio ult, and he still has it. He wasn't able to utilize the Silas ult. Him getting shut down is pretty big, as well as we now get to see the start of it. Oh man, Barrage, they opted in for this play, but they just burn APA's teleport. He can't get here, and this is a comp where they have to group up. They have to play together. They have to death ball with this Olaf. The fact that he just goes down first, PCL gets taken out next. It's nice and easy. Gorica goes down here as well. That's poor play coming out from Barrage. They need to group up, utilize that Karma Shield, utilize the Seraphine, try and get a fight like that. Instead of just getting picked off one by one, that's going to go Supernova's way almost every time Rise is involved.
And when we point out who the members were on Supernova were to lead the charge to look for potential upset games and series victories, it was Manimu and Strumpus. And look at Strumpus, 3-0-2, already completed that first item in the Luden's Tempest. I mean, this man has always been in the right place at the right time when he needs to, being able to turn around some of these crucial fights that Barrage were looking for in this early game. And now, picking up that Rift Herald, looking to take more objectives off the map towards this top side.
Hey, there's a reason that they're blind picking Rise, right? And it's not because of the meta right now. It's because what Strumpus can do on this champion as a player. It's always been his old faithful pick coming on in. Strumpus, one of the more veteran members that we have here in Amateur. And talked about how this is a really important season for him, right? With the increased competition, he has a chance once again to prove himself against a better crop of mid laners. So he's off to a good start doing it on his tried and true champion this game, getting involved and pushing his team to victory, as he is also the veteran leader and shot caller on this roster too.
I mean, Strumpus is someone who is essentially coming back to where he started almost 2 years ago. And the fact that the most that he was able to do with it was one abysmal Academy split over with FlyQuest. I mean, he's got more than anything to prove than the rest of the members here, because he's already fallen from that peak back in 2019. Strumpus has to show why he deserves to stay in the ecosystem, why he deserves to be up there ranked. And this opening game against Barrage Esports is speaking volumes here for this guy right now.
We have a close game, and the Silas scaling is something that still very much scares me, as PCL can do some nasty things if he is able to steal that Malphite ult, land some skill shots in one of these fights. But this Rise in a side lane could be a problem, and one of the ways that Supernova is able to play around this Karma Olaf Deathball combo that Barrage is trying to pull off.
Now got a teleport sneakily coming in for Cavell, I believe.
I love how I talk about side laning and we just ARAM. That's
I mean,
the
come
NA
on,
special.
This is the NA special. How else do we win games at Worlds? We got a group and Death Ball and hope for the best, as Fnatic is got a lot of movement speed. He's charging in. They've landed the ultimate down onto Strumpus. That's a shutdown. Cavell comes in with the unstop. Not quite yet. It was the hero's entrance from G Bunny. Cavell is looking for a turnaround, but he's holding on to that ultimate because already with your strongest member down, it's not going to be a lot of damage on that follow-up along with the bullet time being burned. Now, for Barrage Esports, finally, they found a good fight for them with all 5 members there.
Yeah, beautiful combo coming in from Winter. We see a lot of the power of Seraphine, especially his follow-up engage, right? Someone gets CC'd, and that range that you have on your ultimate is so large, and Winter does a really nice job following up on Strumpus, making sure that he's taken down, and with that rise, that is the linchpin of this composition that Supernova has. So, free objective for Barrage. They're going to keep on trying to push themselves forward. As PCL, they're looking for more.
Yeah, but PCL separated from the rest of his team, and he gets blown up before the rest of Barrage get a chance to call in the assist play. So, I don't know, Cubby. We're seeing some of those weaknesses come out. Yes, Barrage, this is a very strong team, but you know, these mispositions, these rotations where the rest of the team is not on the same page is starting to be their downfall here in this mid game.
I didn't realize we got a game where Pi can lane, but Pi can't team fight. I wasn't expecting that one coming on through.
Come on, man.
Hey, that's the joke, right? The Pi can lane, Pi can't lane. He's having a tough time in the fights. Silas is a newer champion for him. Like, we're used to seeing this guy perform on fighters, so I'm almost curious if this is something that, you know, he isn't as experienced with on the pick. That's one of the reasons that I was talking about Aatrox, because we have seen him just dominate on that champion before. Would have been okay in this game. Instead, opting for the Silas, crushed the lane phase, but looks to be a little bit out of his comfort zone as we break into the mid game, as getting caught out here and there, not really understanding like what fights or what ultimates take in the fights. He needs to turn this around because he got all the gold in the early game. So if Barrage wants to be successful in this game, they're going to need PCL to pick it up just a little bit.
It's not just PCL. There's a lot of the members here. Fnatic too. Sometimes he's been picking these fights where not everyone is in place to support him, because we talked about it before, right? This is an Olaf Deathball composition. We've been lauding up Fnatic for this game one to be this incredibly dominating jungler that, you know, apart from Anda, should be running the tournament. But so far, it has not been the performance that we have been expecting for this guy. Now, the mid-game shot calling might be coming in later, and you need to wait for a team to just kind of calm down and remember how to cleanly rotate around the map, as it looks like this mid turret is the hot spot for both of these teams right now.
They need to knock down this mid turret so Olaf can try and get access to more of Graves' camps. And also just the death buff, right? They have to group up, utilize that Karma and Powered Shield coming on through for the entire roster, and try and utilize that Seraphine Charm as well if they can get 2 members to line up. That said, I want to see, it's kind of weird seeing both Array and Strumpus in the mid lane. I want to see Strumpus try and side lane, because I think that he is strong enough to take down either Silas and definitely Karma in the side lane, and be pretty safe doing it, right? Still being Rise, you have access to Ghost, which he opted for this game, and also your ultimate.
Mess. The members of Supernova are grouped up here. We have APA potentially caught out. Fnatic is there, but he can't really get into the thick of the fight. Thankfully, Always Plan Ahead also has his flash. Ragnarok is going to have to be popped just to dissuade the fight. Strumpus potentially... Oh my god. What a beautiful item Gale Force is. Gorica is able to come up huge and take out the star member for Supernova. And now they're running them down. Movement speed plus Olaf. It is a... Oh my goodness. Supernova just getting run down. That's 4 members away from Supernova. And Barrage Esports, they finally find the opening that they're looking for, and they turn towards this Barrage.
We were talking so much about PCL stepping up. We're talking so much about APA, but Gorica, the member who was on Golden Guardians Academy, has a beautiful team fight on the Jhin. He was able to slow down Strumpus, catch him out, and delete him on his own. And that starts the death ball as we see it. I really don't know what this engage is coming out from Cavell. I mean, going on to Karma, like, what are you going to get done? They should be tracking flashes at this level of play. Has the flash, and then watch Gorica now just isolate Strumpus, right? Strumpus trying to go for the cancel, eats 2 shots to the face, that Gale Force the kill, and that is just what wipes the rest of the fight. And it's an issue we've been seeing from Strumpus in the games off stream yesterday. He played Seraphine game 1, was caught out quite a bit over on Supernova's stream. Gets caught out here once again. Might have just cost his team the game.
One opening is all it takes for a well-rounded and seasoned team to start taking the steps necessary to close out the game here. And that could all be Barrage needed. But if we know anything about Supernova, looking at this rise, I mean, Luna's Tempest and Seraphine's Embrace is definitely a combination for a ton of AoE damage. And now if Supernova are not going for the wrong picks in here, maybe there is still a chance. But Barrage Esports now have this giant momentum lead, being able to finally crack this tier 1 mid turret. It's going to give them the opening, but Cavell and Stromfest are going to try and take something back as they look for the second tier turret on the top side of the map.
I actually do like this trade from Supernova. I don't think they want to contest Dragon with Baron up, so at least they get some extra gold in their hands and try and pull off something. That said, I don't know if they can continue any longer because PCL is pushing with Baron and powered creeps in the bot lane, has Olaf in his back pocket potentially once this Dragon goes down as well.
Not by Kaikalor, you can't recall there. There's a scary Galio that's waiting in the wings, looking to knock
He's a
you
big
up
man with Dead Man's Plate.
He is. He is a giant stone gargoyle. He's looking for protection here. Now, Supernova are doing a decent job of slowing the game pace down and ensuring that Barrage don't get a ton of work out. But just as I say that, Array's taking a lot of damage. So the Gale Force forward, that is not what you want to do on that champion in the face of Jhin. And Curtain Call comes out. Winter with a beautiful ultimate as well. Locks them all up, and Fnatic is once again unlocked to be able to run through with that Ragnarok. Pushes them off for now. Array is gone. Matty Moo is chunked out. So that's going to be another turret going down. This inhibitor push looking pretty juicy for Barrage.
Once again, that ultimate coming through from Seraphine as the follow-up was so big as Winter was able to land that on 2 members. That's going to be at least 1 inhibitor going on down. You can see the empowered Karma Shield. This team scrams right on out of there. We're going to try and do this once again in the side lane.
And they're able to clean out this jungle as well, accelerate the gold lead a little bit further in their hands. And at this point, Barrage, I mean, I don't want to say it was necessarily an amazing play by Barrage. It was a good pick on the punish, because that Gale Force forward from Array was very unfortunate. And now it's going to give Barrage just that inch closer to starting to close out this game now with the middle inhibitor taken down.
Yeah, for me, it still feels like Barrage, they're winning off of Supernova's mistakes, right? And if we want to talk about this team as a team that's going to be challenging Academy teams, they have to turn that around. They have to be the ones making the plays and punishing those mistakes, because teams up there, they aren't going to make the same mistakes that Supernova's making here, right? Like, blowing 2 ults into a Karma that has Flash, I don't think an Academy team's going to do that, and I honestly pray to God that's not going to happen with an Academy team coming on through. So
it shouldn't happen with a new either, right? So
yeah, it shouldn't be happening, with a lot of the teams that we have here. That was a big mistake coming on through, and that said, I do like this. This could be creative, as they're going to try and pick off Gorica.
Yeah, they're looking for the play. Exhaust comes out. It might be enough, but just as I say that, collateral damage comes out through Shutdown, going over Matty Moo, and the reinforcements are coming in. Cavell and G-Bunny are now on the hunt, but it is Fnatic who's looking for the hunt, but Matty Moo, kiting, he's able to dodge away, and now Fnatic is surrounded by 4 members. There's no way that he can get out alive, and Matty Moo, through it all, is able to survive.
And that's some of the power of Stromfest coming on through, right? This experienced veteran player. I love that call coming through from Supernova. They know if this game goes standard, they just play this one out, they are toast. So the fact that they sneak into that brush, they prep a pick, they get Gorica down first was a really good setup for Supernova. They're rewarded with 3 kills and at least buy themselves some more time in this game, as PCL, he might get caught out too.
But Pie Kick, oh wait, no, Pie Kick Lord, please, this is a bait. You don't want this fight, I promise. I know it always plan ahead is there, but my guy, Zonya's Hourglass is gonna come out. Cavell has the flash over the wall. Pie Kick Lord is gonna burn his own flash as well. But Strompist, actually,
they're out. Yeah,
okay.
He wanted out. They got the flash. They're like, see ya. That's all we wanted. We're gonna catch you at another rotation.
You know, he had me doing a double take there with that Realm Warp. I thought they were pushing for more. It's like, I think you've got enough, but take a look at this replay once again, Cubby.
Yeah, I mean, the vision setup was so good. You can see Winter didn't even expect it. He whiffs both of his CC tools as well, and Fnatic was trying to turn it, but it was just too late at this point. Doesn't have the aim quite down on the undertoes yet. Misses a couple there. Maddie's able to sneak on out with the Graves being ever so slick. Okay, he landed that one, but you gotta hit them all to get the kill there.
Yeah, I mean, undertow axes don't do that much damage as the later the game goes on. You got to chain more than just one, right? G-Bunny potentially might be caught out here, taking a chunk of damage. Gets rooted up here once again by Winder, and they really want to make this pick happen, and it will definitely go in their way. Winder picks up that one, and just in time as this next dragon is going to be up in about, I want to say 40 seconds. Or
That's huge. Yeah. That soul point is on the table for Barrage and Galio. He can get to the fight in time with his ultimate, but isn't going to be there for the setup. So this is good map play coming out from Barrage. They're the ones that managed to get the pick this time around as G-Bunny caught with his pants down a little bit there in the jungle.
They might be able to catch out Strompus as well. He doesn't have Realm Warp, and he doesn't have either of his summoner spells. Manimu is trying to deter them as much as he can, but this could be Strompus' death. Kick Lord just needs to keep him there for long enough, and here comes the cavalry. Zhonya's Hourglass. Unfortunately, Strompus is not going to save you. It's a massive shutdown, and Baron is up on the table. Even though Soul Point is there, they're going to take this objective first.
That's not the cavalry, man. That's the sniper. Come on. Gorka's got the range.
You're right. My bad. I was just going for a general reference, but you know, next time we'll get the American Sniper reference in there. 5k health on the Baron.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
That's the most important part of this game, right? We got to get those right. As PCL is threatening this dragon from being taken. Soul Point still very valuable for the side of Barrage. They're going to try and rush this one down as well, as long as Strompus is in the death chamber. And with Strompus gone, they can't compete as all right, PCL. I don't know what else to say about that one, man.
I have no words, Covey. That's just one of those moments where, you know what? It is a zoning ultimate, I guess.
I'd say it's more like a scrim with that one. That was something else.
Like, why?
I don't know, man. Just wanted to see Gray.
You know what? No punishment will go their way. You know, this is one of those moments, Cubby, where we say if there wasn't a punishment to be made, that it was
he just
clearly the correct
gave away
way.
a homie stock. Why are you trying to defend this? He's like, yeah, no, here we go. Take the shutdown. I don't know what's going on there, PCL, but anyway, moving forward.
Moving forward, indeed. Well, you know, Barrage Esports, despite the homie stock, are still going to be making their way towards. They do lose a little bit of tempo, but the Baron still in their favor. With that middle inhibitor exposed, that would naturally be the next course of action for this squad. And for Supernova, if they can pull out another cheeky vision play, then maybe that is their key. But, you know, they're starting to run out of options here as the timer clicks and clicks going down.
You know what that was, Rafa? That was like Hot One's Truth or Dab, except the version in League, where you just have to like suicide in the enemy team if you don't want to answer the question. I think that's what just happened, yeah.
I leave the man alone. He made a mistake.
I can't explain it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to like find explanations. Like usually I want to like cut players some slack. I really don't know.
You know, honestly, even though you're being you're not even being that harsh, because I imagine the Return to Lucian are just going to fry his ass after the game.
A few notes after this game.
Kick Lord, what the hell was that, man? What are you doing?
Wait, that was actually really sick from Strompus.
Yeah, he avoids the pick using the Realm Warp and doesn't have to burn any of his summoner spells, as they're going to be very crucial for this next fight, as he's going to be relying on Flash and Ghost to try and maneuver from a lot of these important cooldowns that will be coming out from this Barrage Esports squad.
As the Baron creeps coming in, I mean, this really stops Supernova from doing what they probably should have been doing this game, which is side-laning with the Rise, right? The fact that he's coming in as Vel, he's going to get picked on off. That's a squishy rock right there.
Yeah, it is a squishy rock, and it's also thanks to Infernal Soul and the scaling coming in from Gorka and Winter, as they're just able to completely blow him up. So now, without an unstoppable force, I mean, what is really your engage option here for Supernova, apart from G-Bunny just being able to flash in and then prep a massive taunt? But with the Baron minions on their side, Barrage Esports looking to take down one Nexus turret, potentially looking for another, as Deadly Flourish comes out just potentially looking for a pick, but they're going to turn their eyesight onto the middle inhibitor. And for Barrage Esports, Cavell coming up in the next 20 seconds, they might decide to back off or just wait for the next minion wave.
I think they're just going to back off, spend the gold. Why not just reset and try and take it this clean, standard way in the bot lane? As I know Supernova, or Barrage had a little bit of trouble yesterday closing out their second game, so I am happy to see them kind of take a deep breath and make sure that they're able to solve this game a little bit more cleanly, as this is all but over for Supernova, right? A triple Infernal Drake, Jhin. Yeah, Gorka's doing a little bit of damage in this game. Just a little.
Yeah, just a tad. Just a bit. And, you know, because Cavell was never able to get off to the right foot from that early game Dyrus treatment, He's not this giant tanky rock. He is very squishy. And so even though that we've talked about in prior games and prior to the season that, you know, picking Jhin early can lead into the likes of super tanks like Malphite, Ornn, or Sion just being able to bulk up and they never die. Well, in this case, Gorka is not having that issue. I mean, oh, thank you for the zoom. He's showing a little bit of flair. We got the Elder Dragon coming up in about 3 minutes for Barrage Esports. So if worse comes to worse, that can be the end-all of end-all game-winning conditions here for Barrage. But the way the game is playing out here, Cubby, I think Barrage are finally starting to tick down on this victory.
Yeah, Barrage do not want Elder Dragon to spawn. There is 2 minutes before that objective spawns, $130 until Baron as well, but I think they're looking to end this one on this wave. This is the death push coming on through, and let's see if PCL can make up for a couple of the sins that he's made throughout this game and have a nice Malphite or MF ultimate, whatever he chooses to grab.
They're pushing forward. The minion wave is going to get destroyed here by Supernova, so they're buying some time as Strompest makes the recall as well. Battle lines are being positioned, and Cavell is waiting in the wings. He doesn't want to give away his position, stepping away from that ward. Being shown by the turret, and now Cavell can potentially walk around, but there is vision control in that jungle entrance from the base, so it's going to be difficult for Cavell trying to look for a flank unless he can find a cheeky ward to teleport to, but for Supernova, they're losing time, and they're starting to run out of options here as Barrage Esports are just taking their time hammering in on this inhibitor turret. Winter looking for some picks or something to start it off, and it's just a ongoing stare of death. Pie Lord jumps over. He's going to be able to take the unstoppable force, and now there is a huge threat for Barrage Esports as he's got the big giant red button to say we're going in at any point in time here, Covey.
That's what we like to call the A-bomb coming on through when it's AP Malphite, right? Just that big old nuke being dropped. This time Silas has it in his hands. If Supernova want any chance to win this fight, they have to blow someone up with Strompest. He is the key. He is the damage. That is what they are looking for, but I don't think they're going to have the opportunity to do so as Barrage. Too far ahead, too much gold in their pockets, not to mention this Infernal Soul as well. They're just taking their sweet time with this one. Once this tower falls, should be able to get the inhibitor relatively easily.
And look at the minion waves that are coming in from the top wave. Cavell says it's time to go. Bullet time comes in. Hero's entrance as well on the follow. And Maddie is able to pick up the pieces on the winner, but now here comes the re-engage. And Pie Cake Lord finds Maddie Moo. That's one of the primary carries down for Supernova, but Barrage Esports now have to back up. They've got the curtain called. Sniper in the wings, looking at the crow's nest. They realm warp out, but look at this giant minion wave that has been pouring in from both the mid and the top wave. The final Nexus turret goes down, and with only 3 members from Supernova versus the 3 from Barrage. Maybe they look to close it, but Gorka might be caught out. Gets a Giant's Karma Shield, but it's not going to be enough. Shutdown comes in for Array, and Supernova will stand strong.
Strompest utilizes his flash perfectly, catches Gorka while Karma's shield is down and he's not able to stopwatch that fast enough. It does save the Nexus turret, but the base is still ever so threatened as Fnatic's actually looking to potentially backdoor this, and I believe we do have a replay of the fight. The flash engage from Cavell was actually pretty good. They managed to pick off Winter, but it's just too much for them to deal with at this point. That said, an even fight is actually okay, as once again PCL, he just flashes in and dies because he doesn't have that Zanius anymore. So the fact that this ends up being somewhat even, yes, the inhibitor goes down, not the best, but it's a decent attempt at stand coming on through from Supernova. But Rafa, we have the Elder Dragon being started already, and things can get really interesting if we have a coin flip around this.
And they can't actually start it yet because Gorka being down with these massive death timers is not in position to be able to start up the Elder Dragon safely. Rather, they have to look for a cheese pick and just take out one of the members of Supernova first. Gorka finally now respawned onto the map as he can start walking. And Strompest here actually has to play Bloons tower defense here, Cubby, because the bottom inhibitor is exposed and they have to defend from the minion waves coming out. And Barrage Esports should be able to just secure this Elder Dragon unless Manimu can get in there and make a heroic steal play. But with him being this far forward, Barrage Esports are just looking to burn it down, and Manimu already suffering a ton of health from that first onslaught from Barrage. They're able to trade some ultimate cooldowns back and forth, and Elder Dragon will restart. But look at the bottom minion wave that is pounding on the Nexus turret. Someone's got to go back for it, but Barrage, they find Strong Pest. Shutdown comes in for Piecake Lord. Bunny's trying to get in there, but without a smite, there's nothing that he can do. Piecake Lord is going to give his life for the cause, but he still takes down Maddie. In response, an Elder Dragon is secured by Barrage Esports, and with 2 members down from Supernova, only for 1, Barrage Esports will make the final push.
PCL, he makes it happen. That's going to be the game. Trades his life for the Elder buff and 2 members. I'd say that one's worth coming on in. Should be the game coming on through as Barrage. They take game 1. It was long. It wasn't the cleanest thing coming through, but hey, a win's a win. We take those.
Now, Supernova will say to their credit, despite giving up this first game, they did not give it up without a fight, right? Strompist and Manimu making some spectacular plays and calls, and potentially cheese picks as well around the map, being able to make Barrage work for it, right? So Barrage, they're going to have to recalibrate and reset their mentalities going into this game. I know their expectations are much higher than this, but they've got to show us that they have the means necessary to walk over a team like Supernova.
40-minute win. Barrage, obviously, a win's a win, right? But this isn't the style they want to have these games be. If they want to take down Academy teams, they have to be cleaner than this. And for Supernova, a team looking to upset Barrage, hey, they had a couple attempts there. They were ahead in the game until that Malphite ult went on to Karma. Things fell apart after that with the mid-inner turret, and Barrage took control back of the game. But Supernova, besides the fact that Malphite was just, we're going to ignore the lane phase of the Malphite. Besides that, Supernova did have a very good start to this series and was potentially set up to at least try and make an upset. But Gorka, he had some other thoughts in mind.
Oh, I mean, Gorka was fantastic. And between him and Winter, they were doing such a great job of diffusing and dissuading a lot of the early attempts by Supernova to get that bottom lane snowball rolling. Every time it seemed like that G Bunny and Array were looking for an engage, even bringing in Maddie to be that secondary reinforcements. It just wasn't enough. And we were pretty, besides that first blood onto APA around the 6-minute mark, we were pretty deathless for the first 10 minutes of the game, which, considering the amount of aggressive picks that were picked on both compositions here, it was not expected here for both of these teams to play out. But, for Supernova, I would argue that they should be pretty content despite losing this first game, because now they have some strategies that they can start playing off going into this game 2 here, Kobe.
If Supernova wants to fight with the top teams in Amateur, they're going to have to show a little bit more, but hey, at least they were in it for the majority of the game. That engage was pretty rough before the Baron fight, but for the first 22 minutes, they were playing out their comp relatively okay in a clean game. They weren't letting this Olaf Karma snowball on them, and Barrage is making a lot of mistakes as well. So I want to see Barrage potentially clean those up and see if they can have a cleaner game too, but we're going to have to just see how this turns out in the end, because it seems like Supernova, they have other things in mind.
Yeah, Supernova are still trying to look for that upset, right? And they have the means to, but Barrage, as you said before, I'm really looking at Fnatic. I mean, this first game of the Risen season here, streamed live, is not the most inspiring. There's a couple moments where it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. This is what we should expect. And there are other times it's like, well, Fnatic got blown up and he didn't get to do anything. So, whether that's a problem with the individual shot call or just the team not being able to group around the death ball or the center of the death ball at the right time. Hopefully, Barrage are able to clean that up. And I'm very sure that Illusion and Return are going to give not only him, but also Piecake Lord a strict talking to, especially for the one Malphite ultimate that we saw.
Yeah, PCL was like Jekyll and Hyde this game. It was... we saw a little bit of Pi can lane and Pi can't lane all in the same game, which is kind of what we expect out of this player. But hoping for more consistency as he does outclass his opponent, and I want to see that in the next game. More consistent performance.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to be getting ready to throw it to a quick break before we bring it back to the desk with Smacks, Alk, Battery, and Goferino. Don't turn off that browser, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back to the analyst desk here for Risen Champions League, where we have made a bet on that last game, gentlemen. We saw that one. We looked at Fnatic. We saw that he had 2 Enchanter supports on his team, and we said, hey, we're going to make a bet. What is his KDA going to look like? I went with he would have his high stat would be assists. Jack said it'd be deaths. Not really giving him too much credit there. And Dimitri went with kills. So, production. Let's see it.
All right, this is just revenge.
Wait, hold up. He didn't go 1-6 and 21. So, hold up. We need to actually get on production for that. He did not go 1-6 and 21. I can believe it. I will not. As much as I hate Barrage, it is 5-3 and 12. You're still correct.
Oh,
it's the wrong number.
Well, I still won. Who cares?
Yeah, you still won. I also got scammed. There we go.
There we go.
I got
trying
scammed
to con me, okay?
because Smacks had it as a kills originally, and then before the game he's like, "No, I want to switch it. I just want to switch it. It's fine." He had a feeling. He saw the future.
Yep, I pulled out the crystal ball. I was like, yes, this will win me the bet. I will be victorious. And
I of course have to get host cap.
Please,
I have to get host cap.
What can I say? I know my duo partner better than you guys, so I'm just that smart. So yeah, we'll have to figure out what the winnings of that bet are. But speaking of winnings, Barrage did win game number 1, guys. It was not the cleanest victory of the entire world. The gold graph was not one-sided at all. It spiked and had valleys, and it looked like waves in the ocean. So
it's
Dimitri,
just a roller coaster.
Tell us a little bit about Barrage and how they played in that game.
I mean, technically, because of everything that happened, we still got another like 45-minute game. So shout out to last night. We're running strong with the going long when it comes to the game 1s. But this time around, we kind of saw what we were expecting coming out from Barrage, which was going to be a game heavily centered around individual skirmishes and getting ready for those team fights. And early game, it was looking a little bit sketchy for them. Supernova were doing really well in the laning phase and making sure to shut down this Karma and this Olaf. I know Fnatic did not have that early impact that we expect from an Olaf. But Barrage kind of came back. They're able to kind of play their game, and we were talking about it. They don't want to play their comp. It feels like Barrage, they got this awesome composition ready for themselves. They get this great draft, and they just don't want to play it. They just want to play it however I want. The me fight gene that we were referencing earlier, it's just like, it's the dominant no recessive genes there.
Are you telling me that Karma is not an engaged champion, Alec Battery? Is that what you're making the claim about?
Well, man, I don't know, man. Karma is apparently the premier engaged champion, as well as flashing for Silas ultimates.
Okay, all right. Well, you know, Barrage may not have played their comp all too well, but their opponents here, they had something to say about it. Jack, tell me a little bit about Supernova.
Obviously, like Ulk was mentioning, Supernova, they were able to use a lot of those globals. They got the Rise, they got the Gallery, able to catch Barrage with their pants down. However, though, the pants for Supernova, they just kind of pulled them down themselves. It felt like they did the good old trick of shooting yourself in the foot and just continuously shooting yourself in the foot, thinking it'll work at some point, and then they kind of lost the game. I know we had some very poignant criticisms about some certain mid-game decisions involving a certain tier 2 tower in the mid lane.
Was it excited about that one?
Yeah, so I remember that fight very well here, Gopherino. I remember that Supernova were attempting to go for a big wombo combo, as you were mentioning. We're like, oh, yes, this is the one. And they forgot Strumpist. They left him in the mid lane.
He had such a strong start, too.
Oh, man. I can't.
Oh, man. Oh. Yeah, it was definitely pretty rough there for Strumpus in specific, but also Supernova in general. Just real quick as a final point here, Jack, tell me a little bit about what you want to see out of Supernova before we take it to the next game.
I want to see Supernova because we saw them come out to that early game lead. They were performing great. And Smacks, I believe you put down that hard quotable for this, that once those towers started dropping, then they started making those odd decisions. I want to see them like tighten up that mid-game plan. I want to see them tighten up that objective control. And that's just something that I want to see coming into this next game here, Smacks.
Yeah. All right, I want to see a 2 here for Supernova if we are going to be seeing a Game 3. And Barrage need to clean a little bit up on their end as well. We're going to have to see if they do it again and they take us just to a 2-0 like I personally predicted and make my predictions look good. And you know who else looks good, guys? It's Rafa and Cubby. Take it away, gentlemen.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready for Game 2 between Supernova and Barrage here. Now, me and Cubby, it feels like we're beating a dead horse here, but I will say that, you know, we need to see more decisiveness and more cleanliness in terms of execution from Barrage if they are going to live up to the standards that they are setting for themselves this entire split.
Yeah, I actually got a message from APA after that game with an image that showed him and Fnatic running it down. So I think they're looking to clean their own play up as well.
At least they know.
Yeah, so I don't think they were too happy about that one over on the side of Barrage, but hey, we're going to have to see if they're able to prove it this game, that they have a few more tricks up their sleeves and some more clean gameplay. I want to see Fnatic and APA work a little bit more together, because if you're going to play Olaf Karma, picking fights when Karma can't be there in the early game is going to pretty much kneecap, like it just chops your kneecaps right on off. So if they're going to play that comp, I want to see it executed a little bit better and play to the level that we know this team can play to.
Yeah, what's the use of a death ball if the death ball is already dead before the fight even breaks out, which is what we saw a few times during
That's
that mid-game.
why you just have to mind control the enemy team for having Malphite ult into Karma. It's perfect. all part of the plan for Barrage.
Yeah, you know, there's definitely some questionable plays from both of these teams, but this is where teams start to making adaptations and see if we can see that improvement coming out, right? Now, first pick up for Barrage here. Hey, Kai'Sa was available this time around after being banned in that first game, and now let's see what Gorka can do with this champion in his hands.
Gorka was the standout player for Game 1. With Barrage, we're joking about all these players kind of struggling in Game 1. He was the rock on the Jhin. So the fact that they're going to take the fact that they're going to take the Kai'Sa after they banned it on red side, I think it shows that Barrage actually has a very high priority on this champion, a little bit higher than I think where a lot of the other teams may have it placed. And you have to see if they can get this thing out of lane, because if they can get it out of lane, it's very powerful in team fights and also sets up well for a potential dive comp. So I'm curious to see if we see Barrage put together a comp that wants to get around the front line Supernova was putting together rather early.
Right, and this Maokai being picked up, I assume, is a flex for that support role,
most likely
as well
support.
as the top lane.
Yeah.
But yeah, are we seeing no more Imperial Mandate Maokai, right? We're seeing full on tank Maokai.
We're still seeing it.
Oh really? Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, Smax is not going to be happy to hear it. He thinks it's garbage.
Well, he's going to have to deal with that on the desk. Rafa, I actually want to talk about this Taliyah coming through, because it's something that specifically for Barrage, it's a little bit of a scarier pick, because APA plays it as well, which not a lot of other mid laners can say. And he plays the Taliyah. If he does get his hands on it, I don't expect it. I think it's going to go over to Fnatic. But if APA does get his hands on this champion, he is a fantastic Taliyah player, really good at impacting the map, and his positioning with this champion in team fights is pretty much impeccable. One of the best Taliyahs that we have on the server. So curious to see what Barrage has in store for that one, as they are going to hold this flex for the rest of the draft.
Yeah, and considering that, you know, it takes a lot to say that APA is one of the best Taliyahs on the server when this main role for this champion is in the jungle and APA is coming in from the mid lane. This Aphelios lock-in, though, passing up the Jhin, passing up the Misfortune, we're going in for the man with many guns that we all had to read Charles Dickens novel last year come around just to understand what the hell this champion could do.
Yeah.
Now, Supernova, probably some top lane bans, I imagine, coming in here.
Yeah, thank goodness. I believe it was Frostgaren came up with like the color scheme or whatever, so that's like the nice shortcut. But I think notably for Supernova, if you missed their games yesterday, Game 1, Array pretty much saved the game with this Aphelios pick. Got a triple kill in a fight where they wiped the enemy team in their own base and then marched down the rift, killed the enemy Nexus with down in gold. They won that game down in gold, Game 1 against Conviction. So the Array definitely going for a little bit of comfort here, as Supernova is very much switching it up in the bot lane. Meanwhile, Graves for Maddie, he interacted with his lanes pretty well in Game 1, and so I like the fact of running this back as some top laners that you can chain CC with Taliyah taken out of the pool. But Rafa, Pantheon is still up, and that is the real scary combo that I'm looking out for.
Right, and then the question is, where's this Pantheon going to go? Because we've already mentioned that this Taliyah is a flex for both Fnatic and APA, but also that this Pantheon could easily be a flex for all three of those top laner, jungle, and mid lane here. So now Supernova are really flying dark here and trying to figure out what they're exactly playing up against lane by lane. This Gragas flex, this is something that we were hoping to see come out in game 1, but now Supernova are going to flex the fat man around.
Yeah, I think they are expecting the Pantheon, potentially an Akali coming on through as well. It's another option, as Gragas does have pretty good matchups into both of those champions. And also does give them a little bit more flexibility throughout the rest of the draft, as that can be put both support and top with the Maokai. So we're going to have to see what ends up being decided here. But Barrage, they have to set up their team comp, as it looks like they're going for a little bit more CC. They see the melees. They see the Galio still being on the table. It's going to be Galio for APA.
Now, hear me out here, Cubby. We have Nautilus and Galio locked in, and as you said before, there's a lot of relatively short-range champions here. Aatrox is up on the board. It would be able to work well with Taliyah in terms of having split damage profiles as well. You know what? I forgot about the Monkey King. The Monkey King is the PCL special here.
Yeah, the PCL special coming on through. This can be played into Gragas and Maokai. Should get a lane lead. And this is PCL's best champion. When this champion was very strong in the summer, when SGC was in the swing of things, PCL was one of the best top laners in the league. A lot of the reason, due to the fact that he was rated so highly, was his play on this Wukong. So the fact that he's going to grab it up here, good sign for Barrage. They get back to, I'd say, a little bit more comfortable team comp with APA on Galio and also this Wukong coming on through for PCL. Meanwhile, Supernova, they're going full late game. They said 1 late game marksman, it's not enough. We're going to go for 2. We're going to take the Corki, take that handshake matchup in the mid lane, make sure that Corki gets a lot of farm. See what he can do as the game goes on for Strumpist.
Triple marksman and 2 beefy frontline boys in setting up for this composition for Supernova. And you know what? To be fair, that Barrage had, as you were alluding to in game 1, the superior composition when it came to late. And if Supernova are confident that Barrage are not going to be able to close out the early game well, as they showed an ineffectiveness to do so, then you might as well bank all in on it. And through Strumpist's calls, maybe you can start making those picks and have a better execution in terms of the team fights, because we could talk all about how early game's going to play out, how mid game's playing out, but we all know once that dreaded 30-minute mark comes around, it doesn't matter anymore. It just comes down to who wins that last team fight, right? And then you just march down the Nexus and game's over.
Well, that's what got Supernova one of their wins yesterday. It's not the best strategy for League of Legends, but hey, if you're Supernova, you are coming in as the underdog. Maybe it's their comfort zone, that late game. As I will say, Strumpist did make a couple nice calls for his team to try and keep them in the game, specifically that top lane play where they snuck into the brush as Rise and managed to get a 3-for-0. So credit where credit's due to Supernova. They didn't roll over and die in the last game. It was rather competitive throughout. That said, I am concerned because we did see Barrage in game 1 yesterday against a weaker opponent, but they won the game in like 23 minutes with 1 death. And a lot of that was off of snowballing coming through from the mid-jungle duo of Barrage. And Galio Taliyah is a very scary combo to be running. It can really impact side lanes as well if you utilize that CC Galio brings to the table and set up the damage that Taliyah can bring too.
Yeah, because between the two of them, the mobility that they have to be able to rotate around the map super quickly is a terrifying prospect in itself, just because of Taliyah either, rock surfing and wall surfing into Weaver's wall once she hits the level 6 mark, and then APA has the means to join in the fight with that hero's entrance. So I wonder which sides of the map they start to play around, because we saw the success that was for Barrage when Pie Cake Lord was given a lot of love and attention. They basically set up the Pie Cake Lord daycare system, right? Where Cavell was this mean kid that was like picking on Pie Cake Lord. He was taking away his favorite toy, and so Fnatic came in. The mom is like, all right, you know what, back off. Leave my son alone. Let him play with his toys, right? He needs to be careful and nurtured. And then Cavell never got to see Pie Cake Lord in the nursery again. I would not be surprised if he slid some money under the table just to get the daycare to kick out Cavell. Just leave him out in the pouring rain. I mean, that's exactly what happened, right? I mean, Cavell's trying to go to other lanes. He's trying to get into other daycares. Like, please, they didn't accept me anymore. I need farm. I need gold.
The lane was frozen on him, and he got ganks without teleport or flash. That's usually a pretty feels bad man. So we're gonna have to see if that lane state gets out of control once again, as I know that we're gonna wait to hop into the game here. But I'm curious. I think it's going to be Gragas top and Malachi support. I'm relatively confident.
Yeah.
Wukong does have a rather good matchup into the Gragas, but Gragas is Gragas no matter what. He's going to build that 9 Harvester, going to have a bunch of AP and try and one-shot you. My concern is what happens when he throws out that cask, because if Wukong and Kaisa have flash up, they can use it to manipulate their way to get around the team, and he has to be really careful about when and where he places that thing, because the last thing you want to do is knock a Wukong into your 2 backline carries.
Right. You definitely have to pick your targets correctly here, because if you boot the Kaisa or the Talia into your team, great. If you boot
Talia is the target. Yeah, that's the dream.
Yeah, Talia is the 3-pointer that you got to go for if you're Cavell on this Gragas here. But if you don't want to be dunking yourself by sending that Wukong into cycloning and knocking up your team, and then that's when things are pretty bad here. But yeah, I like how you mentioned that Gragas is for sure going for this AP build. It's definitely a lot of fun just to blow up people, almost Season 3 Gragas-esque vibes with the barrel sniper combo. But I wouldn't put it past Cavell to actually go for a more tankier route, just rushing that Sunfire cape, because both Night Harvester and Sunfire mythic bonuses are going to give that CDR ability haste passive, right? And that's what Gragas loves as the game goes on, because it's all about the body slams. It's all about being able to have that explosive cask up every 40 seconds come late game, because you want to be disrupting these fights and putting them in your favor.
As long as he doesn't rush Cosmic Drive, and then we put ourselves in the position where we will be getting host capped. So please don't rush that. I'm looking for Night Harvester. He's going to go AP. The healing you get in the lane is absurd. The wave clear you get is absurd. You can just stay in lane, and then you always are a threat to one-shot someone like Talia, the 3-pointer. That is what Grag's going to be looking for with those big casks. And here's to see what Matty does early, because he doesn't really have any lanes to interact with. Which I think is rather concerning. Gragas does his thing no matter what. Corki just wants to farm out the lane. And I'm really concerned to see how Matty paths early, because there is a chance that if he gets invaded on by this Talia Galio, that he can be put out of the game really early, and this thing could end really fast for Supernova. So I think his early pathing is going to be pretty critical in making sure that they get off to a good start and try and get these marksmen to the late game.
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at game 1 for precedence here, Matty invested a lot of time in trying to get his bot lane ahead in G Bunny and Array, right? And he lost so much tempo, and he lost a bunch of the crabs as well.
He got smoked in the jungle because of that gank.
Yeah,
like Fnatic was able to take his Raptors and double crabbed him. And I don't want to see Matty make the same mistake again. It's a different jungle matchup, but we're gonna have to see. As I believe we're about to hop onto the Rift, Rafa.
Oh, baby.
Here we go. T-Tours, baby. We're back. Onto the Rifts.
All right, guys. I just want to see T-Tours in the chat right now, because my goodness, this cinematic, I'm never going to get old of it. It's always going to look pretty, and just massive shout out to our lovely dubbed Flying Hawaiian production team. But for this game too, as you said before, Matty is going to be the focus for this jungle pathing, right? Because on this Graves, you can definitely farm fast, but when you're going up against the likes of Talia, she farms faster, and then once she gets her first item, Power Spike, she is zooming. She is clearing these camps like it's nobody's business. And Graves, even though is a fast farmer relative to a lot of the other junglers in the meta, it is just nowhere in comparison to the Earthbender that is Fnatic.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what Fnatic's going to be able to do with this Talia, because it's a pick that into Graves actually is very good. Graves can't dash through that rock field. AP junglers do very well in the Graves because he doesn't gain armor anymore from E passive. Thank God that was busted. We got rid of that a long time ago. And I think that Fnatic has all of the makings to attack whatever lane he wants to attack in this early game. So really want to see what both these junglers do. I think that it's important that Matty neutralizes Fnatic's early plays to try and get these marksmen off the ground. And Fnatic, if they get ahead early, this could be really ugly for Supernova, because Barrage, if they get ahead, they can snowball this game really fast with Talia Galio, as you were talking about earlier, Rafa, with those globals.
Yeah, and if we haven't stressed enough the fact that
Love
APA,
this start.
oh man, and there's going to be a ward that's going to sniff them out and be able to provide information of where Maddie can go next. But this is a beautiful start, and now we're already seeing where the focus of Fnatic's attention is going to be for the first few minutes. Obviously, Pie Lord. Now, this is where we have to say, if you're a Barrage fan, all right, guy, please step back. Your weak side. Just let the wave come into you, and we promise we'll get that daycare set up soon. Not anytime soon, but somewhat soon, right?
I mean, this is such a good start from the side of Barrage, just given the fact that now they can threaten the dive, and what can Maddie do to this Wukong in the top lane, right? Like, Gragas, he doesn't have the early power, and Wukong is going to have that clone to try and dodge out on the ganks. Meanwhile, on the flip side, you can always threaten Nautilus Dredge line, that CC coming out from his passive, to try and set up this Talia for an easy kill. So I like the fact they're going for the split map, and I think the veterancy and more experience that Fnatic has could potentially really shine through with this setup.
Yeah, and this is a moment where Pie Lord is going to have to demonstrate how well he does playing on this weak side, and if he can play against the dive well. Wukong does give him that potential for the outplay as long as he's level 3 and has that clone, but still sitting at level 2, you know, if Maddie wants to pressure for this time now. But you know what? Pie Lord already recognizing that with that health deficit, he's going to back. Meanwhile, Fnatic looking for the dive right now, Cubby, as Arayan G-Bunny say, yep, we're not messing with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's a plate, and Waves lost already, and they're still going for the play.
And do they have the combo? Bam, baby! Fnatic on this Talia, setting up Gorka for first blood, and we already saw how well he performed in that game 1, and this time he's receiving the love.
That's a great start coming out here from Barrage. I love this early game plan. His PCL, he's going to get a solo kill.
Wow. You know what?
Pike in lane, baby. He's back.
Pie cake in lane, baby. You know what? And he's playing the weak side well. Now, Maddie looks like he's going to be coming up towards the top side to make sure that this wave doesn't impeccably freeze. And Pie Cake Lord already having burned the teleport means that either he's going to be forced to stay here. So now Maddie's going to be able to set him up. But always plan ahead. Looks for the flash on the Strompest. They missed the combo, but the damage is enough for Fnatic and APA.
Okay, this was my concern coming into the game for Supernova, because what do we have? We have bot lane getting blown out of the water early. Now mid lane gets ganked. Corki is down a flash already. And meanwhile, top lane, PCL gets a solo kill. Like, on his own, he is weak side. That should be illegal, the fact that he was able to do that. But the fact that we thought PCL outclassed the top laner, he shows it here as we're going to see the combo coming on through. As nice rotations cover. K-Tad outdoing us, looking good here. But that combo coming out from Winter's Nautilus, I mean, all he's got to do is land the dredge line, and Maokai, he's dead.
Beautiful stuff coming in from the bottom lane for Barrage. Winter and Gorica setting up Fnatic for success. And that's the thing about Talia, you know, everyone thinks that the damage is coming from those the Q and the rocks being thrown, but really the surprising, disgusting burst is when you're able to land Seismic Shove into the unraveled earth, because then, my goodness, the health part just completely disintegrates. And we already see Winter being proactive on the map, trying to match G-Bunny in those roams, and ensure that Always Plan Ahead still has a lane to viably play against in Strompest.
So the one thing for Supernova is that Maddie got ahead just based off those plays. I would still much rather be in the shoes of Fnatic, where, you know, I just helped win 2 of my lanes, and then PCL wins me the 3rd lane. Maddie does have access to these respawn camps, going to get a little bit of extra XP under his belt, and could potentially still make some plays, but he's in the position now where all 3 of his lanes are going to be shoved in and losing, and this map is all Fnatic. So let's see what this X-Academy jungler can do in this amateur game, because this is the setup where I expect him to just blow up the game.
Yeah, Dragon is up on the table, and because Fnatic is level 3 now, his Q, it comes off cooldown pretty. Again. Yeah, they could dive bot. They could also do this Dragon if they look for it, but the wave being pushed in. But,
let's do it, Alpha. I'm all, this is the right play. I'm all for this. Maokai, he doesn't have flash. Like, all they have to do is just walk up and look at him funny.
Cubby, you woke up today and chose violence, and APA is already there. I believe he has boots as well if they want to go for the Predator movement speed. G-Bunny and Array, they're trying to back off, but Gorka is the first one to lead the charge. My God, if that dredge line would have connected, Array would have been a dead man. They're going to lose quite a bit of CS and experience off of this wave. But Strompest might be looking for a rotation. No, take that back. He's just going to go for the recall instead.
Yeah, they just lost a cool casual triple wave. You know, it's fine. Everything's fine for Felios. Just, you know, entire building's on fire. But we're just gonna let it happen. And meanwhile, in the top lane, I mean, look at PCL. He's freezing this on Cavella. He's fine. He loves this matchup as the Wukong, and he already got the solo kill.
And for Maddie and Strompest, I mean, when you're looking through the eyes of Supernova, who are the two people that have to kind of take control and take over the game and guide this team in the right direction? I mean, Maddie is, I mean, he's got a solid camp advantage, but that's not going to matter if the Fnatic just keeps getting a bunch of kills and he's bullying your bot lane off of the map here, because then, sure, you might be stronger than the Talia, but I mean, you got to deal with this Kai'Sa who's dealing hybrid damage, and that is the last thing you want to face as a Graves come the mid game.
I mean, the tough part for Maddie is that he really can't respond in this bot lane, right? Because, once again, if Nautilus, Talia, if they look at you funny, you can die, right? And so Maddie is saying, I just need to get farm other side of the map, but he's only ahead a camp and a half, and Fnatic's just ripping through this jungle on Talia. I mean, really, all he can do right now is just pray for time, right? That's the draft that Supernova went for. When you go for Corki Aphelios, you're not trying to play the first 10, 15 minutes of the game. You just want to skip out on it. But Barrage, they're a good team with good players. They know how to punish this early a lot harder than I think a lot of teams in Amateur can. And they're really showing it this game.
And already, Cubby, this is such a change in pace and execution from Barrage compared to the game one where they had the Olaf and the Karma. You know, things were not the best in terms of calls and togetherness, but now Barrage looking more like that well-oiled machine that we were expecting them to be, and kind of the expectations that they set for themselves, because they don't want to have to even worry about this match, right? They want to get out of this match. It's got to be a 2-0 in the park for them, and they're ready to move on to the next opponent.
Game one didn't look that way, but game two, they're looking to flip the script in their favor, and must say they are off to a good start. I think their next step is to take this Rift Herald. Gold means a little bit more to these guys than Dragon goes, and quite frankly, they're looking to play this game so fast that the Soul win condition really come into play. That said, they did Dragon already, so I'm kind of looking for Winner to try and reset off this wave, potentially, since Fnatic just reset. As it rotates up to the Rift Herald, they can make a play, get that thing for free as well. Start knocking down some more plates, maybe funneling some gold in the Wukong too, so make sure that PCL is nice and strong in that side lane.
Yeah, being able to enable that 1-4 split composition and
or they can just 4-man dive bot again.
You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's just continue getting up in there. Yeah.
I'm choosing violence.
Yeah, but Strompest and Maddie, this time they're ready for the potential play. The ward does spot out Strompest with that package, so that 4-man dive might not come anytime soon, at least from Barrage. But Supernova, you know, I was thinking that maybe they might do it for their own, but Strompest, timer runs out on the packages. He's going to use it mid lane, and now back to violence, Cubby, because let's see if they actually go for it, because Winter is already pulling out an engage here on G-Bunny, but Maddie is here for the reinforcements. Weaver's Wall is available for Fnatic as well as Hero's Entrance, so don't think that Barrage can't call in the reinforcements anytime soon, but it's just a show of aggression from Supernova and they back out.
Still, Corki package for Naught, that is a bit of a win for Barrage. You can use Corki package to really pressure the Rift Herald. The fact that that's not going to be up for another few minutes gives Barrage that window to try and attack the Rift. Still feels like they want to dive bot, though, and really put Aphelios out of this game. I can't blame them, and that's why Winter's been trading so aggressively. They're going for this fight. But Maddie...
Fnatic is here. And
Maddie's in the right place at the right time. This is a good play from him. He's now hit the point where he can kind of contest this and potentially survive that one-shot coming out from Nautilus. I still don't think that's the case, but he's at least babysitting a little bit better this time around.
Yeah, he can't... We saw a lot of attention from him in game one, and he's completely left them to the wayside to just pick up the scraps. Was trying to support Cavell, but the fact that Pyke was able to manage that solo kill under the supervision of Maddie, and it's not the best in terms of results here. And once again, I mean, we've seen this story before, and APA is ready. He's got Predator. He's looking to set up the taunt, but G-Bunny does a great job of diffusing any potential deaths, but they do lose first turret here.
Yeah, it's still an 11-minute first brick without the use of Rift Herald. I mean, that's just how dominant this bot lane has been. Yeah, 2 points go down in the mid lane, but Galio really doesn't care, right? He's just getting out, impacting the map, and Maokai doesn't have flash. They can attack that once again. PCL is still going to pick up this wave. They don't lose anything for that play. And so the fact that those kills don't go over, not that big of a deal. They get the first brick. They should be able to rotate Kai'Sa, take down those Rift Herald now pretty easy, and the snowball for Barrage, it's just getting going.
And Pycake Lord is just doing just fine. You know, he might be down about 10 CS, but in the grand scheme of things, considering that he is playing weak side and he still has that solo kill up to his name, he's doing just fine. And now with that recall, he's going to be able to swap around with his bottom lane, as this Rift Herald should be Barrage's for the taking.
Rob, this is starting to look like a little bit of stomp.
Yeah, I mean, this is much cleaner than game one, right? I mean, this is what we were kind of expecting to see, but it's like, all right, finally, Barrage has showed up, guys. This is what we meant to show you when we were lauding them up so much.
This might be like an advertisement for why Corki mid isn't played that all too much anymore, as you can't match any priority, and so you just go to them.
Right. And we know that it's like one of Strompus's comfort picks.
It is.
I mean,
yeah, and it's good in the Galio, but like the first 15 minutes of the game, you just can't do anything, and it kind of looks like this if you're against an early game team, a good early game team, which yeah. Barrage is doing that right now.
Right. I mean, if Barrage was playing like they did in game one, then maybe Supernova had a chance. And so they rolled the dice on it. They said, you know what? They're not going to be able to play the early game well. We're going to get away with Corki Aphelios. So far, they're down about 4,000 gold. This is not the play that they're looking for. And they still got quite a ways to go if they want to hit that 2-item power spike that both of these marksmen are looking to bolster, in addition to that Graves.
Yeah, textbook play coming out of Barrage so far. I would have liked to see them rotate for the Rift Herald a little bit faster, but going for first brick in the bot lane, that's still an option that works on out. Never complaining with the scoreline right now. You mentioned 4K gold, up 3-0, even in Dragons. They didn't really care about the second one. They'll catch up on those later. They'd rather knock down those turrets, get Kai'Sa into the mid lane, and this is where things, once again, get really scary, because at any time they can throw down a Talia wall, they can bring in the Galio ult and try and create a fight, and this is where Supernova really just has to play on the back foot and try and just wait out those ultimates and hope they aren't successful. That's really where we're at right now. We're hoping.
Supernova are just... They're going to take anything that gets to them, but if Barrage continue playing this clean, then there's not going to be many opportunities come for a while, as we get a nice, beautiful aerial view of the screen.
This is great.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, just look at the vision control that is coming out from Barrage, occupying almost pretty much that river entrance of the bottom quadrant. So it just means for Maddie, he can never enter there. Now, Pycake Lord is getting collapsed on by G-Bunny and Maddie. This is the Pycake. Hey, buddy, you're overstepping a little bit, but he might be able to walk out safely if G-Bunny can't get in range to W him. Strompus is coming in for the flank as well, dashes over, gets the flash out. And Pycake Lord should be able to survive because they got Hero's Entrance coming out as well. That's a lot of tools spent and time trying to collapsing on Pycake Lord Cubby.
It is. They do get the Galio ult out, which they didn't need the drop because the Nature's Grasp actually, it didn't connect in the end, that ultimate from the Maokai. So at least they get Galio ult out of that too. That is a bonus, but I mean, all that the side of Barrage has to do is just 1-3-1 this one, and they cannot be stopped for the next 5-10 minutes. I mean, they really need to buy time for Aphelios Corki to try and get some items, and you can see, like you mentioned, the fact that Maddie's not getting access to his camps anymore. Those are now possession of Fnatic as well. I know that he is up in CS, but he's going to start to fall behind just given the fact that his lanes got blown out of the water early.
Right. I mean, Fnatic made the investment banking option. He put time and
went
love.
For interest.
Yeah. And now he's coming up on top with his investment into Gorka and Winner, right? Because now
invest
they're
early,
ahead.
kids.
Yeah. This is investment 101 here with Rafa and Cubby. You know, it just goes to show how old we are, man. Oh, jeez.
We have sweater vests. Trust us.
Well, we're choosing violence today. Boom, baby. Damage coming out. Maddie Moo was able to trade one back on the APA, but Aphelios is taken down. Strompus actually teleports in and goes with a package, and Gorka is on the wrong side of tracks. Cavell also making a teleport play as well. And Cubby, you know, they were down in terms of item power spikes against Barrage, but the calling from Strompus to go for this play to punish the overaggression for Barrage once again comes through strong.
not respecting Corki packages does punish them. That was a nice TP, and the red carpet that Corki lays out there on Kaisa, I mean, I think that Gragas just like should have like hit recall or something. Like, I know that like he wants some gold from the assist, but that Kaisa was just burdened down to the package. That was really nice coming out from Strompist, and hey, props to Supernova. I mean, we've been painting this as very one-sided for Barrage, because it is, but that's a nice play to at least get themselves some gold, get themselves that mid lane turret as well, and at least try and contest the map here. That said, that's a lot burned before this dragon fight, and so I don't think they're going to contest. Should still be the monster objective going over the side of Barrage.
Let's take a look at this one more time. Oh my god. Aerial view,
look at all
baby.
the damage that Kaisa takes here. I mean, she just melts.
Oh, man. Have you ever tried to walk in a burning path of fire, Cubby?
Yeah, I'm doing that later tonight, actually.
Oh, true. Yeah. But, well, it's not fun. It's not fun. You know, your feet tend to get a little hot. Yeah, especially if you're walking on 100-degree cement. That's exactly what it feels like, because you just have to get through it, and there's nowhere else to go. And poor Gorka, his options were kind of limited there. And this ward, courtesy of Supernova, was the key for Strompus being able to get that sneaky flank and punishing the overaggression for Barrage. But despite that play, you know, Cubby, I imagine we're still pretty confident that Barrage should have the means of finishing this one out.
Yep, they've got Dragon on the table. They're trying to get this tower down first, though. You can see Gorka clearing out mid, rotating on over to pressure this objective. Nice play coming out from them as they try to reset. Once again, Supernova, it was a good play, but they burned a lot of tools, so this means that Barrage they get to respond on the map and take what they want for the next couple minutes. I really think that the only time Supernova can fight is going to be with that Corki package until they get to 2 or 3 items, because they are just too far behind at this point.
A lot of spam pings coming out onto Array saying that, hey, there's no way that they can do this play right. Oh.
Winter? He just cut Winter off. He really wanted Winter to go to Dragon with him. That was it.
Come back!
It was like a split call, man. And that's like when you eat your teammate on Tom Kench, like, get over here.
Yeah, if you're playing Callista and you use the Fate's Call just to take your support, it's like, no, come back. We're doing this instead. But this gives an opportunity for Supernova to trade Dragon for Rift Herald. I mean, you tell me who really wins out on the objective.
At this point, both mid towers are down. This is Kelly, so it's the Rift's like really only worth taking if you're snowballing. So I'd rather take the Dragon. I don't think that Rift Herald matters at all. But I mean, they get it for free. Whatever. You gave up Dragon. They couldn't contest that anyway. It's fine.
Might as well.
Yeah, might as well. So, I mean, the real thing they have to do is just funnel as much gold as possible into a Aphelios Corki, which the 2 kills onto the Corki, that helps for sure. But they need to wait until 2-item mark to do anything. And for the rest of the game, they're going to be under siege still from Gorka. I mean, at any time, you can Killer Instinct into that backline and threaten these 2 marksmen. And so I really think the Barrage is still in full control of this game. And I'm more so how cleanly they can shut this one out, because they want to challenge those academy teams. You got to put these amateur teams away quickly and cleanly.
Right, and Gorka is ready to kill. He's got that collector as the second item power spike, so a little bit of extra execute damage once you hit that 5% threshold is going to be nice little chef's kiss in finishing off these members here. But we're seeing Barrage starting to set up that vision control over onto the top side of the map, because then they can always position as this Baron ready to pivot over there if they get enough members of Supernova off the Rift. Trompus, he's going to try his best to prevent this siege here, Cubby.
I just didn't know I was casting with like a Salt Bay coming through.
What?
A chef's kiss.
Who's
you gotta
that?
like throw down some salt on your arm too. You don't know Salt Bay?
No.
With like the steak and the salt? Oh my gosh. Rafa, you've seen this meme. You've got to know this guy.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know if that speaks to my age.
Oh my no. We are educating you after this. I am a boomer, and this is a meme that you should know for sure, as you're much closer to the Zoomer brethren than I am. Salt Bay, like sunglasses, like if you like, if we had cameras on right now, and I was like, I'm doing it in the camera.
Listen,
yeah, even
I feel like
says you should
I feel like if you showed me the picture, then maybe
you would know in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. I just don't recognize it by name. You know, it's just like one of those songs that comes on the radio. It's like, you've never heard of this song? It's like, let me listen to it first. Stop harassing me, okay? Like it's if I don't know a meme, it's fine. I'll educate myself later.
We're gonna culture you later for sure. That's happening. Yeah, that's happening.
I'm getting bullied.
We still have some dead time in this game. 2 minutes until Dragon spawns. I expect that's when the next fight's going to take place. But besides that, it's just Supernova getting time to farm, and if they do not misstep anywhere, then they shouldn't get picked off.
Well, Supernova are going to pop the Rift Herald here, look for some more gold in their pockets. Drop this should be able to take this top-tier turret, no questions asked. We have some members of Barrage looking to collapse just to make sure that the Rift Herald doesn't continue crushing down any further turrets, but I imagine that the play is still around controlling vision for this Baron, because once they make a pick with their global ultimates, then that Baron should be going down thanks to Gorka on this Kai'Sa.
Dragon seems to be the goal as Barrage wants to put themselves on Soul Point. Ocean Soul is the soul of this game. Very, very powerful, as I think we've all figured on. Taking a look at the gold. You mentioned Gorka. He is up a lot on Array. All those tower points really coming up big for Kai'Sa's inventory, and I think my eyes are definitely on Gorka this game to see when Gorka chooses the killer instinct and where. I think it's going to be very crucial in these fights, as Barrage, they still have full control. As long as it's 2 items, I think this is where they're still very, very strong. It's after this where Supernova scaling really starts kicking into hyperspeed. So I'm curious to see if Supernova does choose to contest this upcoming objective, because with how slow the game's gone, they might test the waters, but I still think it's the time where they're under threat, and APA, he's going.
Well, you said it all right, and Strompez, he's got no time to react. The flash comes out from APA. It's a teleport flank from Cavell, but who's really getting flanked here? That fat man is going down. It's a double for Gorka, and now, we said it before, we're looking for picks from Barrage. As soon as 1 or 2 members are down, it's Baron time, baby.
I love how clean Barrage is playing around this Talia as well. I mean, they see someone, once again, you look at Talia funny, they can just flash on you instantly and go, and it's off the back of Winter's Nautilus, right? The flash dredge line. Good engage coming out from the support of Barrage. We'd love to see good support play here in NA Amateur, because it is a rarity, to be fair, as PCL, they're looking for more.
Well, oh no. Hey,
well, the end's back.
Uh-oh.
Stinky.
Hey, Matt, remember how we, Pie Cake Lord just went in with that Malphite ultimate game 1, and there was no team follow-up? He did it again. It seems like, We're seeing a pattern here. Barrage is super far ahead. It's like, hey, we're about to get this objective. Pie Cake Lord says, nah, man, let me limit test real quick. And APA is like, well, wait.
Let me alt tab here and see what they're saying about me in Twitch chat.
Well, because of that, it's an Ocean Dragon that is traded back over to Supernova here. I don't think there's any real punishment coming in for Barrage as the second dragon. With the momentum that Barrage have, Cubby, I'm pretty sure they're just content to close this out before a soul point is even reached for either of these teams.
Yeah, it's definitely not a clean play from them. I don't think it's going to matter that much, but we can pick on PCL still for giving some homie stocks, as we're going to continue to see them pressure the side lane here. I think the goal here is definitely to knock down an inhibitor for the side of Barrage. If Supernova can prevent that, that'd be ideal. They're definitely going to have to give all the rest of the turrets that are not inhibitor turrets in this game, because the push coming out with Baron and the power that Gorka's packing right now, it's going to be too much for them to deal with unless they're in their base.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Gorka has already hit his 3rd item power spike before Array has even hit his 2nd. So this is dire straits for Supernova, having to fight with essentially a marksman down in terms of overall power. And they've got 3! They're fighting against 1, and this 1
they definitely over-indexed on marksman. I mean, you can pull this off, but so we have Wall coming on through. I like this from Fnatic, just giving a little bit more safety to try and make this one happen. But beautiful cast.
Yeah, and APA is in a world of hurt now. He's going to try to go in for the taunt and make something out of nothing. Burst comes out from Fnatic, but still, it's a member down from Barrage, and their hopeful push onto this top inhibitor is now going to be dissuaded a little bit. I don't know if Barrage really have enough in the tank to continue this, as we already saw a Pie Cake Lord just backing off, and now this is a 5-on-3, so there's no way that Barrage want to stay.
That was a great cast from Cavell. That is going to stop the push. They should reset. They might get a couple more Baron-empowered sideways to crash in if they want to reset this one, but that does stop things, as back into the dead time, 3 minutes till Dragon spawns. I'm told by producer KTAD, we have a surprise for Rafa.
Huh?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
Oh, here we go. Look at that.
Oh, wait,
that's
Tony
Salt Bae.
Stark, Robert Downey Jr.
That's
Oh,
not,
okay.
no, it's not him. That's Salt Bae. He's his own human.
Is that not Tony Stark? It looks
No,
like him a lot.
No, yes, he does. To be fair, but he owns like his own place where they salt steaks, and he makes really good meat, and he always throws salt down on the meat. I can't believe you thought that was Tony Stark, dude. Salt Bae is famous.
I'm telling you, I've a legit.
Oh my gosh. And you guys call me a boomer, man. We got Rafa over here who thinks that's Tony Stark.
All right, but who is the one that's walking out here onto a broadcast with a cane and a walker here, man? Like that's
not me yet. We're saving that for a different week. All right, we'll figure that out.
All right, fine. I'm just reiterating what Tenacity showed you in the Twitter responses, man. So
I'm sorry that I can't enjoy father-son golf. It's so wholesome.
Golf is for old people like you, Cubby. It's okay, but we might see some. No. I'm not going to even venture into the golf terms. When Joshi and Shillingwalk tried that was an atrocity.
Yeah.
Holy moly!
Yeah, we're not touching that. I think this game's a little bit more entertaining than us having to get into that.
Yeah, for sure. Especially that game one. I mean, Supernova did bring it very, very, very close. But now, this is what we really expected to see. Still some hiccups that we are definitely disappointed to see from Piecake Lord, just picking plays that should not even be an afterthought. But now, with the 1-3-1 coming in, they're rotating. Oh my god, Fnatic almost going down. Manimu was going for the play, but it's a beautiful Zonya's Hourglass. Tenacious Wrath actually is going to pick him off. And TP Flame coming in from Cavell. Gorka has to pick this fight correctly. He doesn't want to get caught up, but APA goes in for the taunt. It's a beautiful knock-up in the Cyclone from Piecake Lord, and now Gorka gets to pick up the pieces. Hero's entrance is just there for flair and show. And Barrage, they lose Fnatic, but they come out on top in a 1-for-3.
I love the attempt from Supernova, quite frankly, but it's just too much gold to overcome. And props to APA and PCL, played the zoning in that fight really well to keep the marksman off of Gorka so he can keep out pumping out the damage. And I think Strompus, he might have to reach here with that. Oh, never mind. Why'd you pick up the package, man? Save it. It's so you could have used it for Dragon. It's so strong.
Well, he's stalling recalls here. Dragon is still going to be
big.
Yeah, I would imagine that Barrage still have the means of being able to walk down and secure it, since there's Supernova still down. Cavell here, their only teleport access is Strompest, whereas Piecake Lord can split in the side lane if he wants to until the dragon spawns. But for Barrage here, it's a beautiful attempt onto onto Fnatic, I should say, Cubby. But I mean, this is what we've expected from the beginning.
If Barrage wants to challenge Academy teams, they still have to show me a little bit more than what they've shown today, but there's definitely been remnants of what they can be as a team.
Yes.
And that is a team that is terrifying to deal with down here in Amateur, and is definitely a major threat to qualify for Proving Grounds. The goal all these teams are going for, to make that top 16 and to prove your worth against the best that Academy has to offer as well.
And thankfully for Barrage, even though we're not really pleased with the mistakes that they've made so far, because it's not going to cut it when you go up to those higher class teams in Academy, and then of course a News main roster and not Academy team. But at least there's time to improve, and this, if you're gonna iron out kinks, this is definitely the time to do it right, instead of when it matters most. So hopefully Barrage, they take these moments as growing pains and can improve for the better, as now the last nail in the coffin should be had here for securing this Baron. Whereas for Supernova, this is your one chance to make an upset play here, as Baron...
I like this. This is a good setup coming out from Barrage. You can see they've got PCL on the angle. That said, a lot of poke does come down from the Maokai. Nice. Sonya's there to dodge out on the cast. They should be able to turn this. Here comes the fight.
Oh, but the cast, even though it was beautiful, Cavell is going to suffer for it, because the counter engage from Barrage is just filthy. They take out the Fat Man. That's one front man down here for Supernova. But the health bars are pretty low here, so I don't know if you want to go for the bear. Oh my god, Piecake Lord says it's violent time, baby. We're going to go over for the knock-up. Mojo Jojo is here to play, ladies and gentlemen. Earthbender coming in as well, pelting the rocks. But, I mean, the rest of the members of Supernova are trying to do their best to kite this one out. They take down Piecake Lord, but it's still an overall victory here for Barrage. I mean, Array and G Bunny might be able to escape, but the base will fall for Supernova.
Nice engage coming out from PCL, and props to APA. His Galio in that fight and throughout the game was very, very strong, even though we don't see it on the scoreboard. In the right places at the right time, making the plays needed. The Zanyas to bait out that cask was beautiful, and also the zoning in the fight as Barrage. It was a little bit messy in game 1. This is what we expected, more so in game 2. They do find themselves the 2-0 against Supernova, push themselves to 2-0 here in Risen.
Yeah, Cavell and Array just doing their best, but I mean, we all know the result here.
You gotta pad the stats, man.
Yeah, you gotta make yourself look as good as you can for the season to come. But 2-0 for Barrage, not a clean 2-0, just to make it known here for the audience at home. But it is a 2-0 nonetheless here for Barrage. Now, definitely a lot of things that they're going to be needing to clean up as they start fighting better and better teams in this Swiss team bracket here, Cubby. But, for them, there's definitely some strengths of what we expect peak Barrage to look like by the end of the season.
And what we expect from Peak Barrage is to push for one of the best amateur teams that we have to offer, right? Like, I'm pretty much everyone has them top 3, top 4 on their list of where we expect this team to fall. We expect them to compete at the top of the table. And once again, the early game plays we saw, pressuring bot lane, getting the Aphelios off the wave, that's what we expect out of this team, right? Given the veterancy of these players and the individual strength that they have, we want to see those advanced team plays that we don't see other amateur teams go for because they're afraid they can pull it off. But what we don't want to see is those mistakes. We need some cleaning up coming out from PCL and the rest of the squad. A little bit of an off day coming on through, but at least we're starting to see signs of that. And hey, Rafa, it is early in the season, right? This is the first tier 2. It's the second day. Barrage has plenty of time to figure out those intricate things they need to figure out as a squad, and putting away teams like Supernova 2-0. It's what we expect from them. And so, as we like to say in golf, no pictures on a scorecard. It's okay. The score is what it is.
So forgiving compared to the Cubby that was just hard picking on Pie Cake Lord after we left the situation.
Hey man, I mean, how can I not say something? Like it is my job to give you guys what I see on the screen, and when I see Flash Malphite ult into suicide, I gotta say something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's an illegal play. That's an unforgivable play here. But let's look and take a look on the other side of the token here for Supernova. We didn't set them up to be the expected winners here, right? But for Supernova, I think given what they were able to have, I'm not the biggest fan of the composition they went with for game 2, as once Barrage started showing what a real early game team is supposed to look like, then they got kind of slammed. This Corky comfort pick is not going to really, especially when Supernova is relying on Strompist and Maddie to really dictate the pace of the game. You don't do that with Graves Corky against Talia Galio.
Yeah, and I think that hopefully once Supernova starts to come together as a roster, we see a little bit more confidence in the early game coming out from them, because when you pick champions like Rise, like Corky, you're just saying, all right, guys, game starts at 10 minutes, right? And we hope that we are still in the game at 10 minutes. And right now with the meta, that is not the approach to League. We're seeing high damage carry junglers coming on through like Talia that can blow games out of the water early. And so I kind of want to see a change of approach coming out from Supernova. And what we talked about, though, like with Strompist and Maddie, there were some nice flashes of what those players can be. There were some nice calls in the first game from Strompist to keep them in the game, some creative use of his Rise that he's so good at. And Maddie at least held his own in the jungle in terms of keeping up with tempo. I want to see him have a better idea of how to move around early, though, because I think Fnatic really out-jungled him like in the first 4 levels in the first clear of both games.
Yeah, because at least in the game 1, he was willing to sacrifice his tempo lead and his farm lead to.
You don't want to sacrifice that in the matchup though. You got to try and keep up, and he just gave away the entire map from that play.
Yeah, but you got to do something in game 2, because he did the polar opposite. He said, "Oh, bot lane's a firehouse. Well, I could punish Pie Kick. Oh, he just got solo kill. Well, I guess I'm just farming, and me and Strompist are waiting until 10 minutes, and I feel like as a jungle main, like even though I just want to turn off the screen and just be bliss and ignorance to the chaos that is happening all around the map, you can't do that in competitive play, right? And you can't do that against better teams. So it achieving that balance between keeping up your experience and income, obviously, as well as being impactful on the map, is something that Maddie needs to do a better job of striving for. I mean, he's got the mechanics and he's got the raw talent to be able to make it happen, right? But it's just going to take hours, or not hours. It's going to take what's the word? I guess games. It's going to take. You got to put in the work, right? And you got to.
It's early. Yeah, it's early. And hey, at least on the bright side, like if you are kind of a mid-tier team competing in Risen, you get a lot of points for just, hanging. Like, I think everyone gets 10 participation points for being a part of Risen in terms of getting into those tier 1 tournaments as we go. So if Supernova can like possibly sneak into the top 12, which is a team that, we expect to be competitive, especially in the middle tier, we're going to have to see if they can pull those things together and at least get some points and maybe push into the next tournament. But that said, they do take a loss in this round. They're going to be playing against a 1-1 team in the next round of Swiss, whereas Barrage stay top of the table, just like we expected. A little bit messier. Supernova is going to prove that they are a pest this year, but good to see Barrage clean things up in game 2 and have a better game.
Yeah, and I'm definitely positive that Returned and Lucian are going to be going over some of those mid-game hiccups that some of the team members are having, obviously. And, as long as Barrage is, well aware, like, making mistakes is fine. Being accepting of the feedback and the criticism and making an effort to improve is what we care about the most. Because if you don't do it, then obviously you're never going to improve, right? So we're going to be keeping track of Barrage and Supernova as the season goes out, because I definitely have a lot of hope for Barrage, and I have a little bit of hope for Supernova. But I believe we are ready to have an interview with Winter, the winning support from Barrage, hosted by Chilling Walk.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the interview. My name is William Chillingwalk. I'm joined here by Barrage's support, Mr. Winter himself. How are you doing, good sir, after those 2 games?
Doing great. Was a bit shaky game 1, but game 2 went pretty good.
Yeah, game 2 was definitely looking pretty clean from all you guys. You guys were definitely kind of smurfing in that early game of game 2, but I actually want to kind of go into game 1 real quick, and also just kind of go into the series overall between you guys and Supernova, just because you guys got a lot of shared players between the 2 squads here. So for you guys going into Supernova, how was the prep? How was the energy from the rest of the squad? Were you guys ready for Supernova? Were you guys afraid at all?
I mean, our team was a bunch of Supernova fan club last year, so
Yep.
we had to beat them. So we showed them who's boss.
Show them who's a better Supernova squad. I see
Yeah.
you. I see you. I like that, Winter. But then going into game 1, though, I appreciate that the mentality going to game 1. But you guys were having fun. Game 1, though, it looked kind of shaky. You guys had a lot of, missed fights. Fan was kind of going crazy. Some of these fights, especially that bot side dive. What was the comms going into the early game in that game 1?
I think Fan ran it down quite a bit.
All right.
But mid-game we stabilize with Seraphine and Karma, and after that it was pretty fine. We were scaling, and we're just bare micro, I feel like, so we're gonna win.
Okay. All right, so pretty confident going in there. After that game 1, though, because I think a lot of us as desk and also as casters, we were kind of assuming that you guys would do a pretty clean 2-0. How was the coaching staff after game 1? Were they railing you for the not the cleanest play from game 1, or were they just a-okay?
I mean, we just shake it off. They knew that we played kind of bad level. I mean, the first game, so we went into a more comfort style a little bit, because we usually not playing Enchanter that much. So we try to go back to engage support with mid Kenda roaming, and yeah, that's what happened.
I mean, it works out, man. You put APA on someone that can just move around the map, he's going to do his thing. And so it definitely looked really good on the bottom side, especially after that little early game going in. This is where I was actually wondering for you guys going in game 2, when did you guys know you guys kind of had that game in the bag?
The 3rd wave, basically. The game was in the bag.
Legit 3rd wave. All right, I respect that. 3rd wave, Supernova already knew it was game over for them. So I appreciate the confidence Winter. Hopefully that confidence carries you all the way through Risen and through the rest of Proving Grounds here. But a last question for you coming into this interview, Winter. Any fighting words for the new Supernova squad, knowing that you guys have a lot of shared blood between the members? What do you got to say to them after that match and see what happens for the rest of Proving Grounds?
Easy clap, I guess. Is the word?
Easy clap. Easy clap.
Yeah.
Easy clap. Any tips to give to your Supernova brethren on getting better in the rest of Proving Grounds?
They should stop banning trash. There's a lot of better champions to ban, actually.
Okay.
And
Anything else?
I believe that they're picking too much scaling.
Oh, that's true.
They should look
Yeah,
for
that was-
some more meta picks, actually.
All right, Supernova, y'all heard from Winter here first. Stop going for scaling. Stop banning Thresh. It's not a good champion right now for Winter. So you guys got to think about your game plan. But for Winter, I appreciate you a lot for this interview, and also just to have you on the face, man. And people always love seeing you, and also hearing your kind words of the rest of the squad here. But for everyone else, for the broadcast, I want to thank you for letting me do this interview with you, and for everyone else, man. We're gonna be sending you all to desk because Mr. Smacks, Mr. Oak Battery, and Mr. Golfarino are going to have some words about what happened in that game, too. So, giving it to you guys.
Thank you.
All right. That was a fun interview with Winter. We got some PM and everything, of course, well warranted. Yeah, I mean, they got the 2-0 in the end, so I'd say that it's well warranted right there. Everyone, welcome back to the analyst desk. We're here to break down that series and get us ready for Saturday in a few days here. We heard from Winter that they felt like they won the game by the third wave. I can't say that is too far off. And Jack, tell me a little bit more about this early game that we saw out of Barrage.
Definitely night and day compared to last game, because last game we were hard complimenting SN, like, oh man, they know how to play the map so well in this early game. They're able to get such a lead. That this time around, it's just completely flipped here, buddy. Like, Fnatic on that Talia, he had insane map presence. We're talking about how all of SN's lanes could be easily put on the back foot. Very defensive composition, not a lot of lane prio. 4 minutes in, every single lane had died. Every single lane had kind of got a kill or participated in a kill already here for the side of Barrage. And Fnatic is kind of a big part of that.
Yeah, we got to see some absolutely incredible
Easy clap.
stuff,
Easy
and
clap.
it did end up
easy
with
clap.
an easy clap from Winter right there. All right, he deserves that one, absolutely. But yeah, the early game was absolutely incredible from Fnatic. Although, as Winter did put it, he kind of ran it down a little bit. Of course, he was mostly referring to game one, but we did get to see some of that Barrage exquisite flavor in that mid game, right? Didn't we, Alec Battery?
Yeah, they are like, okay, guys, we have to get tier 1 turret. And we even saw Fnatic. He's like, guys, I guess I'll just finish this turret for us. They give a whole bunch of gold over to Strompest, which had us a little bit worried. Supernova have been looking to just funnel resources him both of these games. And thankfully, the flavor from Barrage was just a small taste. They left us with just a little bit of a snack before closing out the rest of the game. But man, that was really close for it was not even close, sorry, for Supernova. It was like he said, as soon as that third wave went in, that whole bot lane, we all went, oh yeah, this is done. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's fun.
But
Yeah,
are you going to incorporate some of the signature flavor into your next dish? Because you're already in the kitchen, buddy.
No,
There
sadly,
you go,
no,
yeah.
not this time.
Tossing some Barrage flakes or something like that. I guess that'd be like a cereal. I don't know. Maybe we got to get Barrage branding on that. But yeah, the early game went so incredibly well for Barrage, and then even though they had those Barrage hiccups where they have the crazy team fights where they're throwing, they're quote unquote throwing. Okay, the lead was still there. They still had the gold lead. And a lot of that was in Gorika's hands. You can see the damage chart here. Look at him. He's carrying this game. He carried the last one too. This is so much damage out of the Kai. So we did get to see that this is the marksman out of all 4 of them that were in this game of League of Legends that did scale the best, Jack.
See, when you have triple marksman, you got to divide your resources by 3. When you got single marksman, you got all your resources in one.
Is
That's
that
the
how
math.
that
And
works?
all I'm saying is results-based analysis never fails.
Wow. Results-based analysis tells me that Gragas is the worst champion in the game.
That's true.
That's all
I
that
think
told
Smacks
me.
is officially washed.
Oh no.
I mean, look, by 13 minutes, Kaisa has not only a 2,000 gold lead out of the 4,000 and has 2 full turrets under her belt. It's that way. It's really hard to throw that one.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it, right? We saw Gorica just completely smurf in that fight, but there was one fight in particular. It was around that mid-tier 1, Dimitri, where we did see Strumpist really come into his own. He had one of the greatest Corki packages I've seen in a while. Tell me a little bit more about how Strumpist played this game and how it really kind of fell apart as the game went on.
Yeah, so they got a whole bunch of gold into him. They did have to lose their tier 1 mid turret, but he's picking up all of this gold. Even APA is still able to roam out of the lane, and there's not much that it seems like Strumpus is getting out of that. And then you take a look, it felt like that first Rift Shield, there's so many roams going bot lane. Why is Maddie and Strumpus not just walking over to the lane, not just picking up that Rift Herald, getting themselves some more mid priority? Felt like a really big mistake, and we saw towards the end of the game they were getting that damage. That last fight in the game is literally him flashing forward, trying to kill Gorica, and they're not able to do enough. Barrage just feels like they're beating them with their wallets at that point.
Yeah. They had a pretty rich Kaisa, of course, collecting people left and right, literally, with that item that they so generously gave to the marksman role in Season 11.
God bless you,
And
Riot.
yeah, a little bit rough for Strumpist. Of course, we know that he is one of the main win conditions for Supernova, but we saw in these 2 games that it was a little bit shaky. We saw a lot of late game and mid game sort of positioning errors from Strumpist. I really would challenge Supernova to go for a more diverse sense of win conditions on this team. We saw a lot of really good performances out of Maddie, both yesterday and today. I really am excited about what I'm seeing from him. I personally, I know the Strumpist is playing these control mages a lot, and I know that tends to be that win condition for your team, but I think there are more sides to this story for Supernova. Like Cubby said, they can end up being a thorn in some of these top team sizes. They do go further down into this Proving Ground season. So I really want to see some more sides to Supernova's gameplay. They, of course, did take that 0-2 on the day, but now that they're in that 1-1 skill bracket, I'm pretty excited to see what they can do. And maybe this is only the beginning of their journey. Maybe they have more left to go. But for Barrage's side of things here, right, we did see another 2-0 out of them. They're now up in that 2-0 skill bracket for the Swiss format. Jack, tell me a little bit more about what that means for Barrage going forward.
I mean, I know our cast just brought this up. I know we were also talking about this. Barrage, they're looking to challenge these academy teams, and the results so far, definitely looking great. Sure, there are those questionable moments. Sure, there are those patented Barrage signature moments. However, though, they're definitely very solid. This is a very nice position to be in. This is where we expected them to be, and I want them to see them keep that position, continue with that position, and only improve further from here.
Yeah, we did see there was one fight in particular where PCL has been going for these I'm gonna win us the entire game solo plays, and
Finally.
he actually did do that at the end, right, Dimitri?
Yeah, finally. It only took us a full 45-minute game and then a whole 30-minute game. So, and the desk in between and all of that. So let's say about an hour and 20 for PCL to get that team fight where he goes in with that Wukong ultimate, gets the Galio right behind him. Finally, Barrage are kind of firing on all cylinders, using their team composition to almost full max efficiency, and is beautiful to watch. It immediately closed out the game, but I wish you would see more of that. That's the only thing. I want to see more of that. I want to see Barrage playing like a team, playing with the tools that they were given, because if that's the case, like you were saying, it is going to be very hard. It's going to be very easy for them to start pushing into those upper echelons against some of these teams.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I want to see Barrage compete. We did have them in that coveted S tier in the tier list that we saw in the team reveal stream. All right, gentlemen, we're going to close out the stream here in just a little bit. Any final thoughts from the two of you? I'm going to start with Goferino. Any last thoughts on this matchup?
It was a very exciting matchup. It kind of went how we expected. because we kind of expected SN, they would give a fight, but if they let it slip, then it get kind of dicey, and it did happen. I want to see more out of these teams. Of course, as always, we always want to see our beloved players improve here, and I just can't wait to see what the future holds for both of these teams, because I got my eyes on them.
My duo partner is better than yours, Sam. That's all I gotta say. Fnatic
that's
got
a gap.
absolutely. He got clapped.
Your
game
duo
one.
partner did tell my duo partner that he was running it down.
He
so-
was running it down, so let's just be fair, okay? Winter was Fnatic was doing pretty good, game one.
If I remember correctly, I believe APA also said that Fnatic was the reason that he went 2 and 8 in placements. So maybe you guys are right. Maybe I do need to reconsider my duo queue options here. But, you know, I'm still feeling pretty good about that. And I'm feeling pretty good about the first 2 days of Risen Champions League. If you guys want to see some more of that, we are going to be taking a 3-day break. But don't worry, we will be back at the same time, 7:30 Eastern time on Saturday. So definitely be sure to tune in for that one. We'll have round 3 of the Swiss. In the meantime, Academy is going to be starting up on the 11th. That is Thursday, so be sure to take a look at that one. Academy in specific is tied in directly with the Proving Grounds. So these teams that we're seeing in Risen Champions League very well could be going up against the top tier Academy teams. So you're definitely going to want to be on lookout for that one. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone, today. It's been a great time. Congratulations to Barrage on the 2-0. Looking forward to seeing what they can do in the top parts of the Swiss bracket. But that'll do it from us tonight. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on Saturday.